They're freezing when they open the door to a women's restroom.
Yeah. Freezing's a whole nother can of worms. I enjoy it, but again, a lot of these are very adult. So as long as you don't mind the adult-oriented humor and themes in there.
We don't. I don't. No, it's so stupid when you go. Oh,
I can't even trade you in for a stuffed dog.
I know
What
they
the
won't even
heck,
do it.
Akeisha
Won't do it. She will not trade.
She will not trade.
Yeah, 2 more seasons coming. Yep, they have 2 more, and there's going to be a lot of ones that are going to have new seasons.
See, I even said you're upgradable at level 65, and she still wouldn't take you.
Another one is
Breakfast basket, yes.
The melancholy of
Cooks, cleans, shops. He's upgradable at level 65.
You're just bad.
I tried.
You try.
He can drive. He has a car.
Oh my god.
And he's a full-time heater during the winter.
Yeah.
However, in the summer, just put him in the doghouse. He'll cool down.
No, there's a lot. I mean, Funimation has become my favorite place to go just because.
Did you watch Decadent?
Is that camera on?
Oh, yeah, I have.
I really liked
Is that camera on? Why?
So they can see me.
Who wants to see you? I have to see you.
I don't know.
Like, I'm tortured with you.
Yes, you are.
I'll send you to Texas to T.
Yes, you are.
There you go. You can go deal with T. You can go be with T down there.
You know, girls.
It'd be quarantined.
Oh, yeah, that one's supposed to be really funny, too.
Actually, it's the 3rd season.
What is Keisha saying something?
Oops, go ahead and I'll put that up again.
Him, I found Lucky on eBay. Maybe you can find one.
The siblings are twins there, yeah.
But then I still have this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to trade.
No.
Come on,
there is
Akeisha.
no trades. There are no trades.
At least this one will keep warm.
There are no trades.
I can try.
You can try. Not succeed.
I've tried getting rid of her. No one wants her either. I'm stuck. I am doomed with these 2.
Yes, you are. It is such as life. I love Kim. Life chart is a doom. Yes. No,
I don't know if you ever went to Live Chart. They have an app too.
I haven't yet. What was the one one of the other ones I've watched recently was the detective. What is it? N221. We've been watching that today.
Of
course she is.
Muppets.
Oh no, the Millionaire one we watched also because that's another one that's funny. I enjoy that one thoroughly.
Yes, that one's funny. The N221 is just weird.
Well, that's because Sherlock's weird in that one.
Have you seen that? I went to the other one with my smartphone.
Oh, that was awful. Wait,
That was-
I've seen it, but I hated it. He was just so overpowered.
Yep.
Oh, I liked it.
I don't know. There again, anime has its flavors and tastes, but I love a lot of what they do. I just love the stories they explore, the fun. Sometimes the very deep topics. It depends on the anime. But yeah, Isekai. Oh God, Isekai. I liked it just because it spoofs on all the other ones, like Overlord, and we watched Overlord, which is funny enough by itself. It's kind of spoofing on them all, is why I get a kick out of it. I don't ever take it seriously, because they're like 7-minute bites of craziness.
Yeah, the first season was really good.
Yeah, the second one went kind of off the railroad.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the little intros and the endings of it. That's funny, where they go to the 64-bit and some of the other... That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny.
Ah, well. So enough anime. I know we're having fun with anime. Alright. You are no longer my favorite. Kim's fun. She is. She's...
Family managed to log in.
Alright, you guys remember where you were last time. You guys are sailing back from the lizard folk.
We got attacked, didn't we?
You guys had shot off the bow to try to hit some Shahagin which they looked like they were trying to keep a distance. You guys came close. One did get clipped, but they haven't resurfaced as so far. They could be there, they may not be there. But you guys haven't seen anything more surface from them. Though everybody's on kind of a high alert at this point, except for those drinking down in the hold, which is Veritas, Shadow, and Yukiha, that are all down in the hold drinking and enjoying life. The rest of you are on high alert. They're more relaxed and enjoying the ride home. So it's up to you guys, if you want to steer the boat more towards where they were, the Sahagin, or if you want to just go back on course to get the envoys to Saltmarsh.
Well, I think it's important to get the envoys to Saltmarsh and try to avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
If possible.
What does everybody else think on that? The captain's got a good, strong opinion on that one. Let's see.
Captain is captain, so...
Yep. Yeah.
Final word.
For a moment. You did. You saw them kind of watching the ship go by. It was a way back from the Sahagin and where they are. But, again, let's see. Yeah, and they didn't necessarily wave back, they just looked. At this point, you get the feeling that maybe there is some trust among the oceanic folk and the ship folk, but there's also, you have the feeling, some mistrust as well. So it just depends on who you run into and where they're from. Let's see, if anyone has knowledge history, especially anyone that's ocean going, you guys can roll to see what you know about the undersea folk in the area.
Hey, I don't think I can do it because I'm in the hold. Why are you?
Right. Yeah. Anyone down in the hold? Yeah. You're doing more relaxing down there. This is more for up on the deck. But good point, Haven. I appreciate that. And yeah, anyone down the hold, not necessarily.
I got 15.
All right, so a 15. You believe that there are some colonies of merfolk as well as Locatha, which are the fish folk, and Kaolinth all through the Sword Coast. There are some Sahagin fortresses down there as well, but as you know, the other three tend to ban against them. Even the Kaolinth find them to be barbaric, almost. Yeah, Freya's kind of lost in the thought and the waves and enjoying it. And also on some of the side things that came up, including her last outing on the ocean, or on the sea, earlier. But yeah, you have a feeling that they're not uncommon from what most of the sailing crews. In fact, you have seen some merfolk before and tritons in the waters. But because of the nature of these waters being colder, it kind of limits, like as you get more down to the tropical waters, you see more activity. In the more colder waters, it's limited to those who are able to withstand the cold. You do know merfolk have that, as well as aquatic elves, but a lot of the others tend to be more warmer water, at least warmer overall upper water. The lower water, as you get into the deep ocean, is cold anyways. So, and there's cat number 2, my purr box, Cassie. Let's see, so being acquired one book, a couple, yeah. Again, you learn a lot about the peoples of the Sword Coast and the fact that of the different human races and humanoid races that are on the land. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Cassie's meow. It is. It is a. She is a Muta kitty, is the best way to put it. If you guys remember the Muta kitty out of all the different anime movies, the big, fat, happy, purring, lays over and just doesn't worry about life kitty. That's Cassie. So, she is a Muta. Yeah. That's the inspiration for the mermaid disguise. Yeah, exactly. That was kind of an oddity and drew the folk away from the normal because they don't see that as much from the merfolk. There are some friendly ones. More of the aquatic elves are friendlier than the merfolk are. The merfolk tend to be a little more standoffish as a whole. But the ship is picking up a good. Let's see, what's the weather out on that one? Oh, lovely. It's picking up a little bit of resistance as you're sailing into the wind a little more. You have a nor'easter coming down from the glacier up in Icewind Dale. You have some light snow in the air that you can see, and there's a definite chill. What would normally be a nice warm 50-60 degree day is now feeling 40 and lower, 30, getting down into the 30s. You can definitely feel a bluster in the wind as it's coming down. Yeah, for you and for Silver, no issue, and for Yukiha, if Yukiha was on deck. The rest of the party, kinda, yeah, you're used to this weather being it is the Sword Coast, but ooh, a little nippy. Even Balam's not too happy about this. He's kind of a little more hunkered down. Lyric doesn't seem to be bothered. She is just kind of walking around deck, looking around in all directions. Nicodemus, not so much either, but Balam definitely is not loving life right now at all in this kind of weather, being that he's from Kalimshan, and Kalimshan does not get much in the way of snow. Yeah. She isn't. You do notice that she accepts the coat and appreciates it with a smile. Her skin has gone more of the blue, which you expect from the winter. More like she's in deeper thought. But she is not unused to this kind of weather. Anybody from the Sword Coast area kind of used to winters. The winters are harsh up here. But as you...
Yeah, I should be okay as well, shouldn't I?
Yeah. A Whisker Away would be a great movie for you. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. Well, you know what's sad? We kind of gave up Netflix for a while thanks to Cuties. I'm not unhappy in the decision.
Yeah, this is a movie that's going on, so it's really worth it.
I would love to. I mean, we may have to look it up. I mean, if nothing else, if they put it out to movie, we'll buy it. I mean, those are kind of some cool ones I like to get. But, yeah, the channel itself has lost me as a viewer for now.
Yeah, I didn't watch Cuties.
I didn't either, but just their response to it has... And even what you're finding out about the creator is even worse. So I'm like, guys, do your research.
What are we finding out later?
He's a pedophile. That's what we're finding out. They found porn on his stuff that was kiddie stuff. Again, yeah. After that, I said, guys, if you're not going to get rid of him for that, I'm sorry. As a dad, I can't support that. I just, no thanks.
You absolutely did the right thing. I can't even believe that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe.
And they haven't taken, from what I understand, they haven't taken it down yet. I'm like, oh, guys, come on. I get it. You want to make money. You want to be fair-minded and capitalistic, but there's a point.
They're trying to politicize it as well now.
Yeah, but it's literally victimizing kids. I mean,
It does. They could have done that in such a better way, and they didn't. So I'll just leave it at that. They could have made it a documentary and really helped kids that are put under that. That's not how this was done. This was done almost glamorizing it. So it's like, no thank you. So make for me a survival check, Captain Bonnie, as you guide the ship into the highway.
I am no longer Captain Bonnie.
I know, you've changed it now. I got to get used to that now. You're going to get me to have to Helmsman Bonnie. So, Helmsman Bonnie, make a check for me. I got to get used to the new change.
A survival check, you said.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing that we would have done some... Yes, exactly, yeah. While you're on the ship, I just take into account that you're healing back up to where you need to. That's not a question. So,
what check, sorry?
A survival check. Since they don't have any profession skills on the D&D stuff. I normally would do profession if we were in Pathfinder, but there you go. 24. You handle that, and by the way, you get a reroll from that natural 20. Anytime that shows up green, you got a reroll on the 20s if you ever need them. And so that's on any D20 rolls. You get those.
I pick survival again then?
Well, again, yeah, you can put it later into survival or whatever. Wherever you want the reroll, or you can even roll with advantage on rolls that you don't normally have advantage. So that's what those rerolls. Any of those D20s you roll a 20 on, a natural 20. That's my way of rewarding that and allowing for some more interesting role play.
Okay.
So, yeah, you did great. I mean, Helmsman Bonnie, you have kept that boat steady despite the wind hitting those sails and wanting to turn that boat out from the mainland. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like everybody on the deck is holding on in the sense that that boat takes a little bit of a dip to the right, almost towards the land side, the landward side, as you are using the wind to almost skirt outside of the reefs and the coast. You have done great with that, and as you're yelling out the orders, the crew is running around along with the bosun, and she's making sure the crew is following your orders in doing that. And that is a pleasant surprise, Silver, for you. I mean, this is cool. No offense to Balam. Balam has some skills, but Helmsman Bonnie seems to be holding his own right now and doing tremendous. Balam's doing more in the front of the ship with climbing up on the... You can see him, he's up on the sails itself, the rigging, trying to adjust things to the wind. So he's helping out as well as the orders are barked out, and he's using his experience to help some of the other sailors as well to make sure everything's battened down, especially the siege engines so they don't roll over the side. The weather is definitely getting more blustery. Let's see. At the moment, Freya is still with Willow at the back of the ship. This is for you, Willow. This is a refreshing time. And you guys, all the crew notices that. Both Freya and Silver don't seem to be bothered at all by this weather. Where some of the rest, a little more so. Just because of where they're from. Tails and giggling after a bit of drink. Right now, and let's see, is T here? Has he joined us? I thought he was going to be in here. I'm not seeing him on tonight. So Shadow is listening intently. In fact, Shadow is sharing with Yukiha about some of the Underdark in the area and how dangerous and how Yukiha might have liked some of it, with some of the exploration danger, the different things that went on, especially with the cults of Loth and the spider worshippers among the drow themselves.
That sounds super thing. It just down below. Just wow.
He says, yeah, it takes some adjustment if you're not used to having no sky, and but he says as you get real deep, it's almost like the caverns act like the sky at times. The lichen and the moss, and it's almost like being in a starlit sky, he says. But it's dangerous, very dangerous.
Well, that sounds like an adventure. We should go.
Oh, absolutely, he says. I would love to have all of you come sometime and enjoy the exploration down there. I think you'd like it.
Let's do it.
Again, raises a bottle of rum to yours, clinks it off yours, and continues to drink with you. Veritas, you're part of this one, so you can add in however you want to on the conversation. The ship does feel like it's tilting, though. Everything's secured down there, but it does tilt, and you can feel the sway. Not enough to throw all of you towards where Veritas is, his side of the ship.
I just think it's the rum.
Am I losing control of the ship, or is it just not?
No, you are holding with that natural 20 on there. You are doing this like a pro. And again, it's no surprise to you because, again, off of the islands that you've sailed, and you have sailed some to the northern ports, up towards Icewind Dale. So, yeah, for you, it's no big deal. This is normal for this season. It's fall, and sometimes those nor'easters come down, and they just tear right through you. So, yeah, and with the glacier up there, that glacier is known to throw a lot of unpredictable weather. So, and unbeknownst to all of you, there's other stuff going on. But hey, no one knows that right now.
So, can I use my spyglass?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead and make a perception check and add for a spyglass. Let me see, what's the adder on the spyglass? There's an adder. I think you can do it with advantage. Let me just double check it.
Will you and your spyglass be working with me to help me steer towards land, or?
Yeah.
Perfect. Alright, let's see. Where is it? There's
I know
Barney.
that you said a +6 to ship duties, but I don't know.
Yeah, spyglass overview through a spyglass are magnified to twice their size. It doesn't say, but I will say with something like that, it's up to you. If you want the +6, fine. If you want roll with advantage, fine. I'll let you pick the choice because it will give you a better ability to spot things.
Okay.
I'm pretty open either direction. Both would be a real boon for you either way, depending on what you're feeling. But you just have to let me know before the roll which one you want to do.
Captain Silver, how far are we from land?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah, it is a very good question. Let me look in my spyglass.
All right.
Is it survival again? Or
Yes. Perception. It'll actually be perception. Mm-hmm. Yep. Rice one. Ooh, nice. A 22. You can tell that you're probably a little more than a half a mile, maybe 3/4 mile off of land. You can definitely see the land, the outline of the land, and it looks like they're getting some snow buildup there. You do see, as you're coming up, let's see where you guys at. You guys are right near, where's the mirror? There's the mirror. There are dead men. That's right through there. You can see in the distance what looks to be Saltmarsh. It is a ways, probably a couple miles yet, but you normally the ship would be going much faster if it wasn't fighting the wind on this. Go ahead, Helmsman Bonnie, and make another roll. Anyone that wants to aid, now I will say this, anyone on the upper deck that is working with the rigging and does survival checks can aid to the helmsmanship, because it all plays in.
Another perception, is it? Survival.
Yes. So let's do this. Let me do...
What am I rolling? Perception or survival?
You're going to roll a survival check, because survival is part of navigation. And then, let's see, he will add a normal roll to that. Balam's going to add into your roll. So yeah, it'll give you a +2 on top of what you roll, because he's able to work with the crew and the riggings and the bosun to help. Good. Silver, you'll add another +2, so I'll give you a +4 on your roll.
Another 20.
Let's see. Yep, another D20. So just click on the survival itself on the character sheet, and it should roll it, and just add 4 to that final roll.
I got 18 then.
All right. So you got 18, and that will give you a strong, not as good as the natural 20 was, but you're still holding quite well. And you haven't lost any ground to be pushed out more towards sea. You're staying...
Situation, Captain. Is it raining or is it just cold?
Snow. Cold and snow. And the snow's starting to fall. The more you go towards Saltmarsh, it's starting to fall. It was a little bit less as you're out towards the mere. It was almost like more of a icy rain. Now it's turning into snow. Solid snow coming down.
So
Again,
we're heading north, right?
Correct. And not abnormal for this time of year. I don't know if all of you know how the calendars work on Faerun. They are 3 10-day weeks. So instead of the 4 7 days or 5 7 days, there are 3 10 days every month. And this is on the 8th day of the week. And it is in the month that would coincide with us being late September, early October time frame. So, yeah, not unusual for up here for it to turn bitter cold. Think of it almost like, as you get more north, this would be like the northern U.S. at times, maybe like the Maine area, or even for you over in Scotland, it's about the same, almost the same distance, height up on the latitude. So
what was that about Scotland, sorry?
I would say it'd be almost as Scotland is probably this time of year, where sometimes it's really nice, probably, and at times it's probably bitter, depending on what's coming through.
You assume that's an annual yearly thing. That's all year.
Well, that's Sword Coast from about north of Waterdeep to almost Neverwinters like that.
Let me just explain something about the difference between America and the UK, Scotland, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the USA, in say Florida or Utah, you're either very dry as a bone, very hot, or you're pushing it down with the rain, lashing it down, right?
Right.
There's never in the middle with you. Scotland's always in the middle.
So it gets a bit of rain, some clouds, and then probably not always so harsh, right?
Sometimes. I mean, the folk up north in the island, they tend to worship the sun god every time it comes out.
I believe it. Yeah, it's kind of like Canada's like that for us as you get into the country of Canada. As you get past Ottawa and that area, yeah, it's kind of like that. And past Montreal, more towards Quebec City and that area, it's, yeah, much more. It's middle, but boy, it can get bitter fast. So, The party is definitely holding fast. You guys are getting closer and closer. It is hard to see across the ocean itself, just because the snow is providing almost like a snow blindness. But you can see enough that you can get your bearings, especially with the spyglass.
Captain, how bad is the water for ice?
Oh, very good.
Looking like it could freeze at any time.
Indeed, 'cause if this is a smuggling ship, it won't be built for ice breaking.
Nope. This would definitely get broken on ice.
What are your orders, ma'am?
Avoid icy patches as much as possible.
Surprisingly,
You need to point them out for us in the future.
Yeah, that's for sure.
surprisingly, you don't see a lot. It's still not to where the water's cold enough to freeze, but you definitely don't want to necessarily take a swim. Freya, when you were in it, it was comfortable for you, but not necessarily for everybody else. Sorry about that. That's my fan on my computer.
I might like it. I don't know.
Yeah, for you, it's not so bad. Anybody that's used to the really more northern climes north of Neverwinter, no big deal. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea, Freya.
Is the snow going to impair our navigation?
Just somewhat. It's not as bad as it could be. You know it could be coming down much harder than what it is right now.
Okay, I was concerned about not seeing the horizon.
Yeah, the water definitely has a nip to it. From the currents that come from the north. You don't want to be caught in it for any long period of time about this time of year. Now in the summer, no big deal. It warms up some. You get more of the southern waters coming up and warming it. Now the northern waters are pushing down and driving it to be colder. Neverwinter pretty much has limited summers. Let's see, bump on the voice question.
Yeah, I had a question about.
Oh, go ahead.
Is the horizon visible?
Yes.
It's not like a whiteout where
No.
you can't see the difference.
No, it's just a little harder to tell, is all. You do notice it, Yukiha, on the hold, because you've been on fishing boats. You do notice that it's almost like the ship is fighting to stay where it is. By the tilts and the shifts, you can tell that that's going on.
Now this feels like home. I love snow.
Yeah, this is definitely feeling like home and what the ships go through on the lakes, the different lakes up in the Icewind Dale. So the party is able to guide the ship in. It takes a little bit, but with the rolls everybody's had, it goes decently, and you can see that even a lot of the fishing ships have come in. It is about, let's see, in the evening, it's about 6 in the evening that you arrive into Saltmarsh. There looks to be another ship of notable size here. Anybody that has a knowledge history can roll on that. Are the rest of you coming up from the hold as they're bringing the ship in? That's Shadow and Veritas and Yukiha.
Yeah, because all the rum's gone.
Shall we raise the Jolly Roger, Captain?
As you can tell, everybody comes, I won't say stumbling, but at least feeling flexible coming up and out of the hold.
Are we leaving a skeleton crew? I assume.
You can if you choose to.
Yes, I would prefer to. I don't know.
Okay. So I'll put this up here because that's kind of where everybody is anyways.
Shall we raise the Jolly Roger, Captain?
I don't think in this port it is a good idea.
Yeah, may not be.
Wait, Jolly what?
Jolly Roger. The skull and crossbones.
Oh, I can't believe, Haven, you watch One Piece and you don't know what Jolly Roger is.
I was thinking also.
Oh, it's speaking incorrectly.
Yes, I was speaking as Uchiha. Like, they're really kind of not familiar with the pirate thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. But could you explain this whole Jolly Roger thing? Like, what is this myth?
Ah, very good questions. Anybody?
I'm not getting an answer.
Anybody?
It's a pirate thing.
Wait, so you guys pirates? Is this pirate ship?
We're buccaneers.
You can see eyes go up in different.
That is so cool. Uchiha
Oh,
says,
hold on, would the word cool actually be used in this? Be available in this?
That's a
Like,
good question. Yep, 30-0 for all you non-Americans. Yep.
that is so interesting. That is so wonderful. I've always dreamed of sailing the open seas as a pirate. But
I'll, I'll bring the ship in, Captain, on your orders.
Yes, dock it, please, and weigh the anchor.
Will
Or
do.
lower the anchor.
Raise the sails, bring us in slow.
All right.
We'll have to slow ourselves down. Flatten my L out.
All right, I'm gonna bring the party out here just so it's easy.
Because we'll need to slow our ship down before we drop anchor, or we'll rip ourselves apart.
Yep. So I'm moving everybody over just so it'll be easy when I transfer maps for me to grab the right folks. All right. Let's see. Can I do it? Yay.
So,
All right. So as you come in again, you see a larger ship, and you pull in on the dock that's near it, and you can see that people are unloading. It looks like a ship from Sword Coast, but you can make a roll to see on the knowledge history of the area to see if you recognize where it's from or where it hails from. Ooh, Veritas, your drinking has definitely not made it easy to tell. It's definitely somewhere on the Sword Coast and not to the south. But you can't quite put your finger on where. But somewhere from there. Anyone else?
I'm too busy trying to keep it.
All right. Silver, you're getting a little closer. You think it is either Neverwinter or Baldur's Gate. You can't quite place the flag of which free city is which. You know of both, but the flags sometimes are a little more confusing. But it's one of the two. You've narrowed that down.
Winter or what?
It's either Neverwinter or Baldur's Gate.
Oh, Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. But you can't tell which for sure. All right. Anyone else?
I would like to attend.
All right. If you got it, go ahead and roll the d20 for your knowledge history. Wow, Yukiha, you and your training of your teachers went really, really well. Your parents trained you well on things. This is definitely a flag from Baldur's Gate. In fact, not just necessarily Baldur's Gate, but there's a sub-notation on the flag itself of an insignia. And the insignia for it is from one of the major houses that is in that grouping. It is. Hang on here. Let's see if I got the houses with me that I can tell you which one it is. Ah, crap, I didn't grab it off the printer. It is one of the houses out of Baldur's Gate that actually does shipping of spice goods and various other things. I will give you later who the who is once I get my sheet on that. Unfortunately, I left it out on the printer. But it is one of the families, the merchant families, that it belongs to. And it looks like there is a commanding female with red hair that is dressed in noble attire, that is giving commands out on the deck as people are offloading. So, I will note that for you later. Let's see.
Richmond, I put a thing up with all different types of ships.
Yep. You can tell that this is a caravel. It is a 3-master. So it is one that can go quite far out off the coast if it needs to.
What ones ever ones? Are we a salute?
There is a... From Neverwinter, there is one. It is with the Neverwinter Guard that's up there. That is... there is a guard that belongs to Neverwinter. That is the military up there. You can give that salute. The sailors may or may not return it.
No,
depending.
I said, is our ship a sloop?
Sloop. Yeah.
Oh, a sloop. No, it's not a sloop. It's a little bigger than... It would be like a yacht or a cog. So...
I've got the ships on the Discord. See.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me take a look and I can tell you which one it falls into. It would be...
Galley.
Yeah, because the cogs fall under the sloops. It's a 1-master with like a mast that goes out, a rigging that goes out over the nose. The 2-masters, of course, yeah, that's the ketch. The ketch is also... God, what else do they call them? There's another name for back in the medieval days they call them. The brigs or brigantine is also a 2-master. Those are more common on the Sword Coast. The brigantines, the caravels, the cormacs, and in some cases the sloops. There are some galleys, but those are more to the south. The barks are more towards the south as well, along with the galleons. They're more out of Calamshan in that area, and as well as going down towards some of the southern lands. And then, of course, as you get down to Kartur, a lot of them are a mix between brigs, galleys, and junks, depending. You see a lot of junk down in those waters. And as you know, the junk has, a more flatter bottom than the normal boat does, or the normal ship. It's a different way that it's done. That the Japanese and even the back in the day of the 3rd century out of China, they had similar boats that were the same way. So, nice chart, by the way. I like it. But yeah, you guys fall more into a sloop, a yacht, or a small cog.
So our ship's like a sloop. It's the smallest one.
Yeah.
It would make sense since we have a smuggler ship.
Of course, you can outrun the bigger ships. Again, now some of the 3-sail ones, depending on the wind, can catch up with you, especially as you get up to frigates and some of the other sizes. They can catch sometimes, depending on how the wind blows and who's better navigating them. But yeah, most times you're going to outrun most of the ships of the line.
Yeah.
And be harder to spot. But yes, good lesson. I like that. Little nautical stuff. Always fun. All right. So everybody is... The gangplank's brought over by the wharf folks, and your crew battens it down and basically puts the pins in to hold it in place on the and opens the railing where it goes in. It's an interesting railing you got that can swing open and closed. It has pinions that keep it in place while you're out on the ocean. For all lightning bolt cannons. I don't know if they got the lightning bolt cannons. They got a few of the ballista, and they're heavy ballista that are on their ship.
I recommend we don't get in fights that we don't need to.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of black powder type of things. That stuff you'd see more down in the southern coast towards Halura and some of the other areas. This is much more your normal stuff. Yeah, your ice cannons. I love it. Literal lightning or little ice. Yeah. You could, given time, if you had the right money, you could craft those. They are probably something that can be invented.
That would be amazing.
Wouldn't it though? Then you have things you can fire like a wand out towards the enemy ships. Or it could enchant the bolts or the ballista bolts that are being fired. Wouldn't that be fun? All right, so the party is led from, or you guys come off the ship, and waiting for you there is the quartermaster, one of the quartermasters. And she says, welcome back. Be here for a while?
Yes, I believe we have quite a decent stay ahead of us. Thank you for the polite welcome.
Oh, of course, of course. She says, I recognize all of you, in fact. It is good to see everyone back.
Have we actually made port? Sorry.
Yes, you have. You are in port and Saltmarsh. And again, the port has, if you were to take a look at it, it has basically 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 docks. You are on the docks that are out towards, let's see, 19, which is the Mariners Guild, I think. Nope. It is the Oland House. You are out towards Ada Oland's house, as well as the fishmonger plants where they take in the fish and basically turn it into oils and food and everything else. It's a huge plant that sits to the south of where you are on the docks. And you can see that's where a lot of the fishing boats bring in their catches. A lot of the fishing boats are on the south side, on the smaller docks. These 3 docks, or 5 docks out this way, are for the larger merchant ships that come in. So they're a little larger. And the whaling ships that will come in, they do whaling. Unlike on other worlds, they don't whale everything. They do go after whales, but there is a sense of, don't go out there and kill every whale you see, because then you run out of a business. So you do see whaling done. It's more, they'll do a whale probably every month or 2. They bring in a whale and then break it down.
So I got permission to leave the ship?
Absolutely, if Silver will give it. Yep.
Yeah, I did.
Now, do you want to, Yumi, do you want to have everybody go which directions? To the Mariners Guild, to go talk with the council?
We should go to the council first.
Okay. All right.
If it's okay with the captain, I'll go and get supplies for the ship.
Okay.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'm going to head to the same place I got my stuff originally.
Oh, okay. All right. In the mind of a 9-year-old, it all comes apart. Everything is horrific. Good. So I can bring in, let's see, we got everybody there. Let me bring everybody here. Let's see who we're missing. There will be Shadow and There we go. And then Helmsman Bonnie, you're going to be off. Yukiha, are you going to come with the rest of the group?
Yes, I will.
All right. And then Lyric will be back here. All right. Let's see. I think we got everybody. Yeah, we got Silver there. All right, good. So I can move everything over. I love being a parent. It's funny because you forget how much fun it is. All three of my kids have ADHD in one form or fashion.
Are we 2 seconds?
Okay.
I'll come.
No problem. I do too, and so I know what it's like. Mine isn't so bad anymore because I've learned different techniques that have helped me to not allow my mind to race a mile a minute. But the hardest part with all of this is that anybody that's dealt with it, the mind of an ADHD basically doesn't have a regulation mechanism.
Right. My son has it.
Yeah. It's like you would think common sense, or they would think through this. No. It's not how it works. Take away a person who has it and take away your regulation or higher regulation functions. They jump from one thing to the next. That's why the emotional breakdowns. So, and the world's coming to an end always. I don't know. I get it.
Yeah. Just wait till you get to the teens.
Don't remind me. Well, my oldest, actually, she calmed down when she got into the teens.
But girls do that tend to.
I'm hoping. No, I hope. Believe me, for her sake, because that'll make it easier on her as she's able to deal with it. But I know that also girls who have ADHD also self-deprecate much more than guys do. In other words, I'm horrible, I'm this or that, or so you said, oh, that was a stupid action. So they'll say, you're saying I'm stupid? No, that's not at all what I'm saying. But that is what is perceived, unfortunately.
Right. They become more ADD. That's what happens to my son. He's more ADD.
Yeah. And that's okay. I can deal with that. The ADD, that's at least easier to, I won't say navigate, but you don't have as much of this going on.
No, but occasionally it does flare up.
Yeah, it does. And I know I was that way with my parents. So God help my parents. They put up with stuff that with me that I'm amazed they did it. So okay, agree. Take our ambassadors, the council, and see. Rick, how's the weather now that it is snowy here? There's probably an inch or two on the ground. Again, you know it won't probably stay more than a day because of the time of year, but it's enough that it's cold and brisk. Definitely on the land side, it is much colder than out in the ocean because the ocean normally this time of year is also getting the warmer currents, so it never really freezes yet. But as time goes on, as you get north towards where Neverwinter is, past Neverwinter, it starts to freeze. As you're getting up towards Luskin and the other areas in this area. So
we'd be leaving footprints and...
Yes, you are. Crunching in the snow. Yep.
Yeah, pretty out.
So I have not reclaimed it from Willow. Willow, she is your typical... The best way to put it is Sylvan-oriented elf. You know, a lot of the Sylvan creatures tend to be less dressed for whatever season unless they're winter fae.
Yeah, I thought she was more winter right now, though.
She is in her mindset,
okay.
But she was raised with the summer fae. So for her, this is all still very new. The idea of... Oh, no problem. The idea of wearing boots, she would probably wear sandals more than boots, just because of being a druid and her connection to the ground. And even as you know, a lot of druids tend to even be barefoot because they like to feel the connection to the earth, Mother Earth, Gaia. So that's their thinking. Or in this world, Shantaea and Elastre and several of the other goddesses of the nature. So
She really needs a pair of boots right now.
yeah, she does. You can tell she's out of her element. So you may even have Helmsman Bonnie go look at that. And so we'll take care of both. Definitely, we will jump back and forth. We'll go to the council room first. All of you are enter the council room. Let's see. She's not there this time. Ada's there. He's there. She's there. He is not this time around. All right. So 4 of the 5 council people are in. The younger council member that all of you are used to is not among the ones there, and that is Anders. Anders is conspicuously absent, but doesn't surprise you. Anders is the younger of the members, and as you know, kind of the newer of the membership. He really doesn't belong to the loyalists or to the traditionalists. He is much more the new era or the new guard. And for some reason, he is conspicuously missing at the end of the day. Maybe he got tired. Who knows? The ones that are present for you are Ada Oland, Gellin Primewater, who is the older gentleman with the peacock feather in his hat. Eleander Fireborn, who looks to be the former soldier from Waterdeep. And Manistrad Copperlocks, who is the owner of the mines and the dwarf, the sole demi-human that sits on the council. She has the red, almost coppery locks of hair and no beard. And they're all sitting in as you're brought in by one of the town clerks. They introduce all of you, and Ada goes, oh, come in, please. Come in, have a seat. And all of you are able to come in, and you're even, Veritas, able to take the seat that normally Anders sits in. Yukiha, you and Willow, there aren't enough chairs for everybody, so you're welcome to stand by one of the party if you want. I'll let you move around your character. Everybody sees the room, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
There were people far more important than me at this table.
Yep. And you see that the 3 NPCs that are with you guys all stand towards the back wall. And in respect, deference and respect. Even though you know probably Nicodemus could sit at that table and get equal respect, he chooses not to. He just kind of stands back. And Ada goes, so, you're back. And then with you, all of you, and I will put here, hang on, are the, actually, do you bring the entourage from the lizard folk with you? Or do you have them go with Helmsman Bonnie? Or do you have them just stay on the ship?
I would bring them with us.
Okay. Good. And I'll put them then here for now. L2. And then your favorite one, Sathis. So all 3 are kind of back towards the back with them. And Eleander, the one you know is kind of the head of the Loyalists, he's the former soldier, looks and goes, well, it looks like you may have had success. I take it these lizard folk are from the tribe?
Yes, they are.
Interesting.
Okay, I'm going.
He turns and he goes, welcome, all of you, in common. And then he repeats the same in a strange, rough language. You're figuring that's the lizard folk language that he talks in. And Ada goes, yes, welcome. Gellin kind of nods and then looks down at his paperwork that he's signing and working on. Manistrad just has her hands steepled as she's looking. And it's open for all of you if you want to report what happened or if you want to talk about the whole thing.
I would say it was very successful with the queen. We are very treated very well.
Eliana goes, what is the queen's name, if I may ask?
Let me see. I don't remember what the queen.
I'm bad that way, aren't I? I ask the bad questions.
I'm like, what? I don't remember her name.
Othokent. Othokent is her name.
Okay. Queen Othokent. She was very regal and treated us well.
Good. He goes, we prefer peace with the lizard folk as opposed to war. It brings us no good to fight other local tribes and peoples. We would prefer to leave that more to dealing with some of the more violent tribes of humanoids. So he turns to each and he goes, you're welcome here as a part of the Envoy Council. And Sathis turns to him and goes, thank you. Our queen wants us to convey that she wants to open trade with your city. And he nods. And at the trade, you can see that Gellin Primewater, the older gentleman, looks up and his eyebrow cocks, and there's a smile, a faint smile that goes across his lips. All right. Anything else you want to report into the group of the council? I know I hit all you guys with this.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, aren't we also supposed to be forming an alliance? Or has that already been settled by...
Ah.
I think we're there already.
Ada smiles and she goes, it's good you remember these things. Yes, we of Saltmarsh want to form an alliance with them. We would prefer that versus just trade. It would be good to have a southern partner that would work in keeping things that would come out of the mere at bay. That way we don't have any surprises or have trappers or furriers disappear. And there's some nods around the table. All the different ones nod in agreement with that.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
well, I was just going to say two things. One, out of character, would the creatures that I mean, I didn't see it. My character was getting blitzed down in the the lower decks.
Sure.
But for the characters that are topside, I know they saw some creatures in the water. Would that be something that the characters would realize this is kind of important? We should tell the council. Is that something?
Absolutely.
So I can let Renee's character kind of role play that, and then also Veritas will speak up and mention how the lizard folks are having trouble with the shark men or shark creatures or whatever those things are called.
The Sahagin. Ada says.
The sushis.
And then Manistrad goes, foul creatures. Always trying to kill folks for food. She goes, so they're involved, are they? Well, that won't bode well for the city. And Eleander kind of nods with her. And Manistrad turns towards Ada and goes, well, what should we do, Lady Councilwoman? Should we just let them exist, or do we help to remove them from the area? And you can see the hisses and the nods from the lizard folk behind where you all are sitting. But it also says nothing. Okay. I think we can both. I think both work. I think we should have them with us. They are a council and all. Yep. He be smelling all. Yeah, exactly. You notice anything that has to do, and that's a good thing, Freya, that you notice that. So give yourself 50 experience that you're noticing and noting these kind of things about the council. He is very, very monetary in his thinking. Anything that doesn't deal with money, he will listen once in a while and write, but he doesn't say much. Yes. Oh, and worse, probably. Yeah. He is a traditionalist, but he is about the town being prosperous by any means. You get that feeling.
So kind of like the mayor from Jaws.
Yeah, exactly. That's a real good analogy. Yeah, he is. But he sits out of the respect also with Ada Olin, and you don't feel like Ada's the same way. She is more of the matron of this town and almost the head council. It goes between her and it seems like Eleander hold more of the vocalness. Manistrad and the dwarf and Gellin Primewater seem much more about the prosperity. Yes, my love. You have that face. What's wrong?
She kicked me out of the room. I was sitting there dancing to Pokemon music.
Well, that's why. She thinks it was embarrassing, so she kicked you out, Mom. Believe me, I get worse when I dance, so it's all good.
I'm the one that introduced a little snot to it.
I know, and now she kicks you out. You are banished,
How dare
Mom.
she?
That age. Quit embarrassing me.
Said Anders is missing, right?
Yeah, Anders Solomar is missing. Now, he didn't strike you as a bad soul. He just is the younger, but also his advisor, who is normally there, is not there, which you find is interesting.
Yeah. So,
And that,
bring that up. Why Anders?
and Scarin is his advisor.
Okay.
Eleander looks for a second around at the different group members and turns to the party and apologizes. He says, I am sorry for his absence. Normally Anders is here. However, he had some pressing requests from his family in Baldur's Gate. And so he went to write them and to meet with one of their representatives from his family. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow as normal to the meetings. So again, we apologize for his absence. I know he is a part of our city and we want to make sure that all of it is represented properly.
So, does that have anything to do with the ship that's coming in?
He turns and smiles at you and he goes, very perceptive. He goes, this is why we enjoy having you here as a resource for our city and as a vital part of our city. You notice such things and do not let them slip attention. But yes, that was from his family. That is actually one of his distant cousins. And she is part of another royal family out of that area, out of Baldur's Gate. And so, he says, normally this would not be a thing where he is gone, but unfortunately with all the things going on here, he had to step out to handle such things. So, we hope he will return, and we hope that he will be able to be a part of the meetings going forward, especially with all that will be going on. And again, Ada nods over to Gellin, and Gellin nods to one of the assistants that are in the room, and they open a chest that is there, and they bring out some pouches, in fact very large pouches of coin, and brings them over to each of the party members. And in fact, Gellin looks and goes, oh, bumps on the sighting. Let's see, well, we can tell the bullywugs. Ah, the merfolk. Tied in with the ship, the harbor right now, yes, and bump on the sightings. As you tell them of the sightings, again, Manistrad has a concerned look on her face and shakes it and says, well, we will definitely need allies down in these areas to help with that. Do you not agree, Ada? Turning towards Ada, and Ada nods, as does Gellin and Eleander. No, she says, definitely not. In fact, it bodes very badly. But again, such is the Mirror of the Deadman. It is not a quiet place for us. It is a place at times of great trouble. Yes, it is good that you brought us this knowledge. And after that, go ahead.
A large creature also?
You did. You saw a sea serpent. Good memory. Another 50 gold over to, or 50 experience over to you, Silver, from remembering these things. Yeah, you saw the narwhal, and you guys also saw. Well, yeah, you guys saw a narwhal. I'm thinking sea serpent was another game, different game. Mm-hmm. So yes, you saw the narwhal, exactly, and that is a good thing to let them know.
We saw a narwhal in the water.
This time of year doesn't surprise me, says Eleander. We try not to fish them. We go more for the blue whales or the white whales. We try to leave the rest alone. So it's good to know. And we will tell our whalers this so that they do not go out and mistake it.
So are they protected?
I had to friend him when I was on a blue whale once.
Yeah.
He didn't survive.
Yes, narwhals. Yeah, narwhals. Well, these whaler boats. Think of the ones out of the 1800s, like out of the Moby Dick novels. That's kind of what they have here, and they have very large ballista and catapults that they will use. The catapults, you can't hit them as easy, but the large harpoon-like ballista you can. Yeah. Again, you see some of it in the north, but it's more limited. Whale oil is still used in the north in the 10 towns, but it's not like the most common. Fish oil is much more. The knucklehead fish that you fish up there provide much more of the oil than do, and they're more common. The knucklehead fish are very common up in that area, almost like salmon and other type of fish, and they're dangerous too. The knucklehead fish are definitely, they're used for scrimshaw and the like. Yeah, getting a horn to go make a sailing shish kebab. Freya. Yes, the Sahagin have them much more concerned. And the lizard folk explain to the council what's going on, and there's a lot of nods. And so Eleander looks and goes, huh. So what you're telling us is that they've taken your home and they've consolidated it into a possible base of operations. He goes, this is concerning. He says, we will begin the call on the militia to come up so that we will have a joint effort. What does your queen want to do about this issue? And the lizard men basically convey that they want to oust them out of the home. And so he goes, huh. Well, we probably need to do some reconnoiter before we unite our forces and drive in to drive them out, for they're pretty fierce. And we don't want to lose people if we don't have to. Cost of war, you always lose some, but we would like to limit that. Know how many people's along the coast at the... They do... Sathis knows a little bit. He conveys that... he says, they have attacked the Lokatha, one of the Lokatha cities, and one of the small enclaves, as well as the Kaolinth small enclave that is near the Waterdeep area, as you humans call it. They also have attacked a merfolk city, an aquatic elf in merfolk city that is down at the bottom. So they are quite menacing, hence why we had so many representatives at our village.
So,
Now you go ahead.
basically nothing at this time. Wait, I did have a small question though. Who was that speaking?
That was Sathis. That was one of the lizard folk that survived with the party that was around on the smuggler ship originally. They attacked the smuggler ship and unfortunately killed his two cohorts with him. And so Sathis was the lone survivor. And he's kind of the main diplomat of the three.
That makes sense then.
Yeah. He has different coloring. He has more of a silver and green. He has the olive green that normally the lizard folk are, but he has silvery highlights to him. Where the other two have much more of an orange highlight in certain areas of their body. He has more of the silver. And he is leaner than the other two. Muscular, but much leaner. So you're thinking more he is a diplomat scout type, where the other two are much bulkier. They look like someone who would guard the queen. From physical feature. Then we could mark out the lizard folk of the sun. Yeah. That would be wonderful, says Ada. I would like you to do that. And she rolls out a map. That map that's actually between them up here. Let me see if I can ping it. Oh no, I gotta get off of here. Hang on. There. That's where, and I'm getting better at pinging. This map right here is where that would be. And they put a copy over here beside you, Freya, down where you're at. So you can mark it on there, and then Gellin could eventually put it on the other one. That way they know, because these are maps of Sword Coast, from where their location is and around. The pouches that are delivered to you, there's an extra one, and in fact, the clerk says, "Did you not have one more with you that came with you that was new to your party?" We have a reward for him as well. Now, originally they agreed to 700 apiece, but because there are two more party members, they down it to about 500. It's how it kind of splits out for how many are in the party. But the reward is 500 gold pieces for each of you, including the NPCs, that the party can use.
Weren't we talking about putting the money towards the mansion?
Yeah, you can have them take it back if you choose to. Lyric and Nicodemus keeps theirs. Balaam says, "Go ahead, put the money towards the mansion."
I'm going to put mine towards the mansion.
Yeah. Lyric and Balaam again, you know that our Nicodemus has a business that he runs. So for him, most likely this will be used to help in that vein. And again, he probably can help in some ways as well. All right, beautiful. So that will be 1, 2, 3. I don't know what Shadow is going to end up doing. I'll have to see. So that'll be Willow. I know will. So that'll be 4.
Did you include Freya?
Yeah, it's Freya, Veritas, Silver, and Willow. So that's 2,000 plus belongs 2,500 gold towards it, which is a significant down. That'll help a lot.
Is Lyra keeping hers?
For now, she is. She hasn't really gone either way, but that gives you 500 or 5,000 remaining left on the mansion. That is still remaining out of the 10 that originally started. So that puts the numbers down pretty nicely. You're over halfway paid for it. Yes, the 10,000 includes any repairs that you're going to do to bring it up to original standards. Now, it does not include new renovations, just the bringing everything up, new carpeting, new wood, making it basically look as pristine as the first day it was built type of look.
The staff, is that going to be a separate fee?
Most likely, yeah. And again, as you employ them on, if there's not somebody local, you most likely could have them put up in job boards like in Leyland and some of the other towns in the area, Amphail, some of the others, and there may be some interest there as well.
Do they have a name?
Very, very good question. The mansion was known as Mansion Levitar. Leverter. It used to be Mansion Lever, like a lever, and Tar on there. Okay. That was the original name. Now, what you call it from there, it was originally Mansion Levitar. Good question. And that's Gellin Primewater actually answers that. He goes, yes, it was Mansion Levitar. From the first owner and one of the royal families that used to be in the town. They're originally from he says. They were one of the first settlers in. Yeah, you do. I mean, the party can come up with a new name for it and base of operation. Now, again, you get the feeling that if the gold isn't given from Lyric and Nicodemus, they'll find other ways to help. Maybe with supplies, other things that go up to the mansion and that. So don't automatically assume that they're just being greedy and keeping it. So the old name is rather, well, yeah, it was a noble's name. So Levitar, yeah. The Levitars, as Gellin Primewater shares, had a misfortune, and all of them died over time. So there are no remaining heirs to the Levitar family. They were a minor noble family out of and unfortunately they laid their fortune up here and didn't do so well.
So, if I might speak up, I apologize for the rudeness, but where is this mansion exactly? I am new to this team, and I would just like just a little bit of basic information.
You notice that the one that is the dwarf, Manistrad, turns towards you, and she goes, well, Yuki, how is it? She says, looking over your direction.
Yes, it is. Yukiha Kyokoashi.
Well met. Well met. Of course, she says, of course. On the way towards where my mines are. There's a road that winds to the north out of here, up the coast a little ways, and it sits facing the coast, the Sword Coast. So It's got a beautiful view, she says. But the road will take you... Ah, that's a good idea. Seaview Manor. That's a very good idea for a name. Have to have the party kind of think on that one. But up that way as you go towards my mines, up there. It's along the way. My miners pass it all the time, she says.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Formed rudeness.
No, she says, of course not. She goes, this is an open council. You're never being rude and asking questions. So you can tell it's the usual dwarves that you're used to dealing with, Yukiha, where they're much more bolder and there's a respect of boldness that comes from them. Even though you hold decorum, they respect bold questions and inquiries.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Some people mistake dwarves as rude. They're not. They're just bold. They speak their mind. Not afraid to. Especially if they're nobility. They don't have a problem in the world speaking up.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That's up to the new party members. If Yukiha and the helmsman, Bonnie, want to join you up there, there's enough room. There is. It's a beautiful mansion. I mean, at one time it was quite pristine. In fact, Gellin brings out what was an original painting of it. And as everyone gets it passed around and looks, it was gorgeous back in the day. Immaculate. Kept well, servants. It just over time, as the family died off, and it went to other owners, it wasn't kept as well. So, yeah, the ooh-ah of the painting. And it's beautifully done. It's a nice rendition. Whoever did it, the artist, did a tremendous set of work. And if the place looks like that ever again, it will catch people's eye, for sure. As a place of respect.
Wow.
Yeah, you can look in... I mean, there's some pictures. If you look at our Ghosts of Saltmarsh, it'll show you the mansion in its state with a person kind of going up towards it. It is not as good of shape. Here, I can put it up in the general messages. Hang on here. Let's see. Saltmarsh maps. Is it there? No, it's not there. Where's my other Saltmarsh things? Nope, not there. Let's see if I've got them in here. I think I've got them in here. It's just a matter of third-party Saltmarsh. No. Council chamber. Nope. Dogs. I know I've got them. I'll post them up because I have them. Let's see. That way everybody can see what we're dealing with here as a mansion, because I know everybody hasn't seen it. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Alright. Give me a sec here and I'll post it right up and in. I have it on my iPad, unfortunately, which not always so easy. Alright. Let's go back down here. No, not that far down. Bear with me. Sorry, I get that when I find the pictures. There it is. This is kind of how it looks from the going up towards it. Hopefully it'll put it in there. Maybe it'll be easier for me just to load it up in there. They've changed the iPad over time. It's not as easy to load things up. I hate that they've redone the software. It makes it 10 times harder to load things up and into it. Yeah, there it is. Let's see. Does it? Nope. Jeez, it's going to take me a while. I hate that. It eventually will load up and in. But it is, yeah, let's see, I have copy. The maps are the maps, but do you have the picture on the outside of it that shows the person kind of skulking up to it? If you do. Lunar Sky Manor, that's an interesting one. So, Crescent Manor, Lunar Sky Manor, Sea View. There's some great ideas. I like the different names. Put those in there. Lunar Sky. Crescent. And Sea View. All great names. Screenshots in the original, yeah, if you want to. They'll have a screenshot of the original mansion that shows it, and it looks like the one that's out of Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion. Now, it didn't look that way back in the day. It was a very Baroque, beautiful, almost like the manor. It's not quite Beauty and the Beast's manor, but it's something along those lines in the beautifulness. Okay, hurry back. So each of you get basically the 500 golds. Anybody that wants to contribute it to the manor, that's fine, or the ship, or to whatever you feel like for that. The council says, well, we will need to get a hold of our contacts in the bigger cities. And what we will do, let's see, I have performed read, this wasn't the right way of saying it, Shitsuri Shimasu, which literally means, but excuse me, that, yeah, it's more the polite, I get it. It's the more polite way of introducing, which makes sense. What they say is, well, and Ada Olin says this, we appreciate the report, and we may have some more questions. What we're going to do is we're going to meet with the lizard folk representatives here. She goes, you are welcome. We will provide you with a place to stay in town that will be hopefully to your liking. And she says, of course, all meals, things like that, we will take care of. You are our guests here and envoys. To the party, she goes, again, a debt of gratitude to all of you. There are other things that maybe need done while we do the... Yes, sweetie? Alright, I'll be right back. Hang on, everybody. Sorry about that. All right. They say there are some other job boards that are up near the watchtower towards the entrance of the city to the north. There are other things that people have put up requests for help on. Feel free to work with those. We're going to convene and send representatives to Neverwinter and to Waterdeep to see what can be done to aid the effort with the lizard folk and their queen. we will have need of you definitely again. But in the interim, if you want to work on those are jobs that are available from different people in our town that have different needs. And so she asks it, are there any things else that you have questions on that we can help with? Oh, there it is. Beautiful. Yeah, that's it. That is one of the originals. Yep. From the 3.5 era. Yeah, they call it McCaster House. I've changed it. Outside Saltmarsh. Yep. That is the castle or the mansion Levertar in this one.
Nice fixer-upper.
Yeah. Well, again, original look, it was quite beautiful and would be a really nice place. In fact, overlooking and the cliff, a lot of people were worried it would erode. It's not. It's granite. It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
Built on
we
granite.
already paid for half of it. So.
Yep. Well, you don't have a feeling that it's going to fall. I mean, it's out on that thing, but it's been there quite a while. Eventually, maybe after the lifetimes of the elves over 1,000 years, then yeah, maybe it might. But in the interim, not really. Go ahead.
Any missions that the council would like us to take upon, since we just finished one?
They said mostly the job boards. There are quite a few different things. She said we did have a request that was brought in from one of the representatives from outside our city. She said this one was from Waterdeep. An Oberek Dralian has a need that he has posted up on the board. Oberek is the son of Loris and Ivania. They are well known down in Waterdeep. Their family deals a lot in import-export as well as ships and with spices. And in fact, Oberek sent out ships to gain spices. However, there have been issues, and in one of its runs, the ship itself had issues. And so he's posting salvagers information up on that board. But Ada says there's many other things that we've seen up there. There are requests for lost trappers that were out in the Crypt Garden Forest, as well as other minor pest issues from creatures that have made their way either out of the Mere of Deadman, the Crypt Garden, or even the mountains to the east. So, she says, whichever you want to take up, they come from fairly reputable sources. She says, we don't check all of them, but that is where normally the jobs are posted. She goes, right now we don't. This was the main issue for the moment. So.
No, it's here somewhere, that isle we passed after the nuns.
Ah, yeah. The island itself. That's an interesting one. Let me see what I've got here.
Is it Moonshay Island?
No, that's where actually your navigator is out. Helmsman Bonnie is out of those islands and areas.
Oh, okay.
But the one that is off the location, hang on here, let me grab the map. Of course the cat's going to sit there and meow at my door because the door is shut. Why wouldn't we? Dad has shut the door. That is wrong. Just wrong to do. Dad should never shut the door.
The island of Three Grove.
Yeah. Yep. The Three Grove Island. Absolutely.
I would like to know more about that.
Oh, she says the Three Grove Island. Yes. She goes, Three Grove Island has been there for quite a while. In fact, it, I believe, used to be part of our main area. You can reach it fairly easy. The strait that is up towards where some of the mansions are up on the hills to the north. She says that actually is the narrowest approach to try to get across to it. But it is a steep drop down. She goes, you could probably take one of your longboats over to it. There used to be some ruins of sorts over on that island. But, she goes, they have been explored in the past by different writers of articles that have come north to check out our lands and our areas. However, she goes, not many go out there just because it's a lonely place, but it's beautiful at the same time. Though some have said that they've seen a woman over there. She goes, I don't know the truth of it. No one has ever said otherwise, but she goes, it's possible. So she goes, I don't know, Gellin, do you know more about it? And he actually says, yes, I kind of do. He goes, there was a ruin to back in the early Eluskan time, back in the old empires, that it was a site of worship of one of the lost gods of that time. And the ruins there may have more to do with that. Let's see. Copy of Saltmarsh areas and the locations. Lizardfolk. Yep. Yeah, all those were put onto the map. No, you didn't miss anything on the list there, Akeisha, on that one. Yeah, 1 to 2. There was the merfolk, the aquatic elves, the underwater hobbies. Let's see, the lizard folk, the settlement taken by Sahagin, the Lokatha attack. There was hobbits, underwater hobbits. I don't know if they've. There are a couple different races. Yeah, elves. Yeah, I have to start with the. Oh, the Lokatha. The Lokatha, it's up there. No, merfolk. Oh, the Kaolinth would be the hobgoblins, I believe. Versus I think the Kaolinth are actually hobgoblins. Versus trolls. They're that version of it. Yeah, Kaolinth. Yep. They are more like the land hobgoblins that are more martial, organized societies. Very martial, almost a Bushido-esque code to them when it comes to warfare.
Nice.
Yeah, most of the hobgoblins are that way. They're very Bushido in their thinking. Unlike the goblins. They are not chaotic, random in how they attack, or they very much are organized in what they do. Yep, that should have all of that. So, Kaolinth. Yep, you got it. So, yeah, I mean, basically they're saying with the council that you've covered most of what they have needed for now. Nicodemus bows to the council and says, I hope we may be of assistance in the future to all of you, my lords and ladies. And of course, Ada just waves him off. I mean, she does. You can tell she doesn't look at herself, even though hers is a founding family, as royalty. Whereas Gellin and Manistrad, a lot more, as does Anders. Eleander and her, not so much. They're more coming from what they consider the working class. So now, Helmsman Bonnie, when you go out, are you going to go talk to who you talked to the last time, the halfling?
Yes.
Okay, you're going to go back and see him. All right, so you're going to see... All right. My fine fellow out there, that is... Hang on here. Not the right one. Procan. Winston. You're going to see Winston. As you go out there, you can see Winston has several people that are in the shop when you come in, and he welcomes you back in and goes, "Oh, welcome. Welcome back in. How was your travels?"
It was good. I'm here for supplies for the ship.
He says, "What do you need for the ship? I may be able to help you."
Awesome. Have you got pen and paper? And I'd like you to deliver it. And payment on delivery, if that's okay.
Of course. Yes, absolutely. He goes, "How much do you need of each?"
Let's see. We don't want to spoil it, so we'll take 4 days worth of each.
All right.
So 4 days worth of sauerkraut, please.
Okay. Good. He says, "What else?"
We'll take 3 barrels of bamboo, or you call it bamboo here.
He goes, ale, basically, or...
Bamboo is a mixture of rum, water, sugar, and nutmeg.
Oh, yes. He says, out here, we call that spiced wine, even though it's rum. But I know what you're looking for. He goes over and he pulls some barrels aside and sets them out. He goes, "What else?"
I also need 4 days worth of salted meat and salted vegetables and fruits.
Okay.
What fruits do you have?
He goes, "We have peaches." He goes, "We have nectarines. We have apples, of course." He says, "We have some grapes that we can do." And he says, "We also have many of the different berries, depending on what kind of berries you need."
Okay, we'll take the peaches and we'll take the apples. That would be good.
Okay.
We'll also take salted potatoes, 2 live chickens if you have any,
Of course.
for their eggs. We will also have hardtacks or sea biscuits.
Of course. A staple around here, he says.
Oh, they're disgusting. But we will also, for the crew use, we'll take 2 sea knives
Mm-hmm.
to be delivered and a single cutlass.
Of course. He goes, "The cutlass should be easy." And in fact, he brings down one that's really nice making. He goes, "The dwarves of the north have done this one. Real well balanced," he says, bringing it down from its case to let you test it. And boots for Willow. Yep.
How would I know about this?
Well, probably because she would have told you initially back on the ship. Most likely.
Okay.
They would have told you.
I'll also need 6 pairs of sea boots. Like, what kind of boots are you after?
He goes, "I've got some eelhide boots if you need them."
What kind of boots is Willow after?
She would probably want some that go up knee length, almost like what you would see on the female sea captains and things like that, with a folded down style of almost cupped folded style.
Do I know what size she is, or they wouldn't size it?
You do. I mean, in talking with Freya and with Willow, they would have told you. Willow would have given you an idea of what she wears.
I will need the 2 pairs of sea boots, please.
All right.
Different colors if you have them.
He goes, we have one with a more dark brown from the eel hide, and one of a dark black type. And he shows you both. He goes, those get brought in a lot of times and are made by our local leatherworking person here in town. She does a lot of this work, and I buy them from her per order. He goes, yes. By the time he kind of calculates it up, he goes, 30 gold for the lot.
As I said, we'll pay for it on delivery.
Of course. Of course.
It's just the crew will be paying for it. So, what else do we get? We also would like a ship's cap, please.
Of course, he says. And he shows you several different styles. They've got tricorn, bicorn. They've got the rounded ones like the French sailors would do, which are the caps with a little tassel off of them.
I didn't say cap. I said cap. C-E-T.
Oh, C-A-T, cats. Ah. See, that's where my accent, I'm going to have to listen with a much tighter ear for you, my friend. All right, so ship's cats. So take care of rodents and things like that.
Indeed.
That's what I was thinking of too.
Ah, okay.
We'll also take some hammers, wood, nails, some sea oils for icing, and some for waterproofing.
Mm-hmm.
Bandages, ropes.
Mm-hmm.
And window cleaner.
Window cleaner. Yeah, they have a form of it. It's not your standard stuff of today, but yeah, they have. Let's see.
Also, I would also like some. Can I lean in closer?
Mm-hmm.
Some bath salts and fragrances.
Ah. He goes, we had a shipment just come in. It's interesting that you bring this up. He goes, we get this from time to time. There is a, one of the nobles is hoping to open a perfumery around here in town that will handle that more often. But not open yet, he says. So, with everything you guys are looking at, I'll take it up to probably about 100 gold by the time you're done for all the supplies you're going to need for that ship. With all these things.
Is the captain happy with the order?
Are you happy with the orders, Yumi, on those?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I was gonna say about the waterproofing, but
Yep. Everything will run about 100 gold in supplies. And yeah, it's fairly fair. You probably, if you knew somebody a little bit better, could get maybe a little better rates on it. You get the feeling that he's not afraid to take advantage of a situation. The owner there, that he has no problem taking advantage of things. But again, you don't feel like his prices are high enough to cause notice. They're just maybe a little higher than some of the bigger towns.
Do they have like a newspaper here on that is not in this one?
Yeah, they kind of do. It's not like your formal newspaper. It's more of a 2 or 3 or 4 sheeter that they do, like of the local things going on. So Just local events, things that are positive, festivals, things like that.
Now, a couple of things for myself. I will
Mm-hmm.
need, since I'm the houseman, I'll need some gloves, please. Good grips.
Oh, sure.
So I don't slip on the helm.
He brings you out again what looks to be they're more of a alligator skinned glove, not an eel skin. He goes, these should take good wear and not, say if you were to have something happen, that it wouldn't easily burn through the glove. They last quite well.
How are they for gripping?
You can see there's little things that are put on them that are almost like little, they're not nubs, but they're areas that have extra material on them, like little rectangular material that gives a nice grip to them. They're not smooth by any means. They're rough. But then again, alligator skin's not smooth either. It's very rough and coarse. So...
Now, I also forgot to add other stuff to the route.
Sure.
We'll need oil, cooking fats. Do we have any, Captain? Do we have any type of? I know you're not here, but I don't want to buy things we already have.
You know,
I don't think we had anything like that unless Rick's.
no, there was some hardtack. There were salted meats and some of the stuff in there, but probably not enough. Again, it wasn't high end stuff, so you kind of question some of that.
I was asking about the cooking materials like pots, pans.
Oh yeah, those you have. Now, some of them have seen their better days, definitely. I mean, it's been used for quite a while. This was a smuggling crew, so yeah, there was stuff on board, but
But it wasn't great.
yeah, no.
May as well replace it then. I will also add to the original list some pots, pans, forks, knives, and mugs,
Okay.
oils, herbs and spices.
All right. So by the time you get done, you now got probably about 160 gold pieces. But it's necessary stuff. I mean, it's... Now, you do know that they do have some patching material on the boat. There was some pitch tar, different types of things that they had. Again, you don't know how much. There was a hold that was on the ship that was full of it. A little area that was off where the kitchen is, or the... So... But yeah, it was a storage area for all that type of work if the ship needed patching.
I really should have took a list with me.
That's all right. It's one of those tough things that, if you think of more things later on, the next time, if you guys go out of town on a mission or whatever, then you just come up with it out of game and write them down.
I will.
Go ahead.
I was just thinking on the side for my personal use that I would like a hat.
Hmm?
I would like
You're not-
a captain's hat.
You're not here, so I think.
So, the types that you have seen in town, Yumi, go anywhere from like the colonial style tricorn, which is the 3 corners. You've seen the bicorn, which is like the Admiral Hornblower. It's kind of the rounded over top to the edge to edge. It's like the old Royal British Navy used to have. Then you also see there are cap style caps. Not cowboy hats, but cap style caps that are almost like them, but not really. Hard to describe. There's a couple different ones that you've seen around town, so you know it's not an uncommon thing.
Right, so I could just pick that up.
Or there is a place in town. Now again, this is kind of where you guys are using this guy out here, and he isn't a bad one to use necessarily if you look at it. I mean, he's okay, but again, Winston is not going to be your cheapest guy on the block. If you want leather goods, Kester's leather goods, Kiorna Kester is a local that can go up to regular hides to very exotic hides. She is a leather worker, a limner, and she does some really. I mean, you can almost her place. You can almost smell the smells that come off of that. She doesn't have the traditional chemicals, but she boils the leather. She does the different things and to make it really worthwhile. It's number 11 on the map if you have the town map that remember I put up into Discord. It is her place is just up the river from the bridge in town. If you were to go over the bridge towards the other side where you guys had the bar, if you'd go to a little bit to the right, her place is off that way on one of the roads. It's up towards the watchtower.
Oh, isn't it Kester?
Kester. Kester. Yeah, Kester. Kiorna, and she spells it Kiorna. Kiorna Kester. She is not from the area necessarily originally, in the sense that she is not a Luskan, she is not Tetherian or Omnish. She is more exotic. She is somewhere down towards Kalimshan area, or even more towards the Horde lands. Her family originally, because she has a darker tint to her skin.
What would the shopkeeper's name?
That's Winston.
Winston, yeah.
Winston the halfling. Yes.
But one last question before I leave. Where in town do they design flags?
He says, that is interesting that you asked that. Because there are sewers that are in town. He sits there for a second and he goes, well, the quartermasters can get different flags in. The Mariners Guild has people there that can do the flags that are their own people. They have their own little shops inside. And also down in the weekly market, there are a few seamstresses that are down that way, if you need.
Where are the
He goes, they're down in the weekly market, which is in the center of town. If you had a map, it would be area 15 towards the docks. It's not in the docks you're in right now, because you're out towards where his place is. If you were to go back towards the center of town just before you get to the bridge, the main stone bridge that crosses the river, it's right in that area. There's an area. In fact, Willow or some of the other folks could show you where that is. He goes, that's most likely going to be your best place.
Now, what did I buy for myself? I bought the gloves.
Yes. And those would be about 10 gold pieces for that, because they're a more exotic material.
Okay, so all my gold is gone.
Yeah, and you didn't pick up, so you'll just have to, once you get paid, decide if you want to go ahead and use that for that.
Alright, I've got six thingy left.
Well, it depends if you want to use that now. I mean, you told him basically on the tab, so he'll collect when
No. I said the stuff for the ship is on the tab. My own, or for my personal use. So, it's not fair on Captain Silver to pay for stuff for my own personal use.
Well,
At least I don't think so. I don't know what Captain feels.
he goes, I'll do this for you. 6, and then a favor when I need the favor. I have favors from time to time. He says, if you're willing to work with that, he goes, I am willing to work with you on it.
So the gloves are 6 gold, you said?
Yeah, so he goes 10 normally, but he goes, I can work around that. Let's see, who is... There was one
So I'm
down
gonna
there.
head back down to the ship.
Absolutely. As you head down to the ship, again, it's evening, so you're assailed by a lot of different smells from the bakeries and the things that are in this area that carries up this way.
I think I'll buy a pie on the way back.
You see some outside vendors, and they absolutely, for a copper, they'll give you a pie, no problem. It's a fish kind of meat pie, but it's very tasty. It's well done.
Right, so do I bump into anyone on the way home, or are they all ship?
Not really, though. You do a perception check for me. Yes. Hi, Munchkin. What's up?
Doing screens share?
I am. I've got it here. Hang on here. Let me pull it up. It's there. The party is kind of in a council, though. Helmsman Bonnie, who is our
Are
sea
they
elf.
having a problem?
No, they were just talking among the council there. So, there's 100 gold pieces. Yeah. So, you do make a like I say, a perception check to see who you see going back down.
I got 15.
All right, so 15, you do notice among the people that are coming in from the docks ahead of you that are heading down towards north towards the center of the city, a woman with very red skin. She has horns a lot like Balaam's, and she is walking with a gentleman that has the best way I can put it is, you remember the Indian Rajas and how they have their hats that went up that were very kind of poofy at the top, feather on it. Yeah, Freya. Wish you were there with him. You could tell him that. But yes. And her fellow that has the hat that walks with. He's an older gentleman with a beard, salt and pepper beard, and he has a hat. Let's see if I've got a picture of these folks I can share with you.
Nice to see you, Fred. You come Captain Schmexy, but my name literally means people.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I mean, she calls her that because of how she looks. Let's see.
I've literally go down to
Let's see where they are. All right, so this one is. Let's see. I can find her picture.
I think it was 160 gold after.
Yeah, after everything it was 160. Let's see, where is she? It is.
How many folk are paying?
All right.
How many?
Let's see.
Help out.
How many folk are we dividing it by?
Basically a few. You've got. Let's see. All right, so this, I'm going to blow her up a little bit into this screen, is what the tiefling looks like. And then the guy kind of with the Raja hat looks like him. So these are your two that you see walking side by side.
I see.
Mm-hmm. She stands out like a sore thumb. She really does. There is no one else other than Balaam of tiefling origin in this town at all.
I've never liked that expression.
Demon blood, devil blood, tiefling. Stands out like a sore thumb.
Because for simple reasons, when you hurt your thumb, the first thing you do is cover it up.
That's a good point. She would be like a peacock among pigeons, is the best way. I'll use that terminology. She is a peacock among pigeons. And even he stands out from, again, in this city there's a mix of different races of human. There are Kalishites, which are the ones that are from the south in Kalimshan. Think of them like Kalishites would be almost from a Persian coloration to a more mocha skin folk. He falls into that, the one that's walking beside her with the hat.
Alright, so I just walked past him slowly, took my
Bump.
hat,
And he's gone. Okay, yeah. Sorry, Rick Bump. Shadow Moon was in Discord and he's back. And are you there, T?
I'm here.
All right, he's here. So yeah, the one definitely looks Kalishite of some sort. He wears the red hat with the he stands out in the sense that it would be like going to 1800s England and seeing a Maharaja walking down the street. That's the way he walks.
So I'm walking down the street now, holding the gloves and the smelly fragrances that I bought.
Mm-hmm.
As I see them, I just feel like hiding behind my back.
They don't seem to notice you. I mean, again, you don't necessarily blend in. I mean, you stick out. There are no other aquatic elves here either. The majority of this town is human. There are a few, and I say a few, half elves, maybe 3, 4 in a crowd. There are 1 or 2 gnomes in this city. 1 to 3 halflings in the city. It is predominantly human, and when I say human, mostly Eluskan, which are the northern people. They're almost like the Nords, or the Icelandic, Nordic type of people. There are Kalishites in this town. There are a few that are darker from southern continents that look like would be almost, in our world, African, but in this world, from Zakara, the southern continent. There are 1 or 2 Mazteca, which would be like your Central Americans. And there are a few Kartur, which are a mix of different Asian background. But not a lot. It's mostly Eluskan, Tetherian, and Omnish. The Omnish are somewhere between the more pale skin to almost a bronze skin.
So we've got the Amish.
Yeah, A-M-N, Omnish. Yes, from the country of which is just north of the Kalimshan. So that's kind of how the map goes on the Sword Coast. So there is a mix, but just not a lot. Now, what stick out? There aren't a whole lot of elves in this place, other than you guys. All the party is it.
So I'm just walking down the street then, and they just pass them.
Oh, you get looks from a lot of different people that are coming in, like fisher folk and some of the town folk. They're not bad looks; they're just curious looks, because of your skin coloration. It's more of a light blue, so it sticks out.
Oh, look, see, I can screen to it. See.
Yeah. That it is. It's kind of, they're not used to it, but they're not necessarily put off by it. It's just they get visitors, of course, by ship, but they're more the exotic oddities where the humans are not so much that way. There are a lot of different people that settled this area, but
Right, I'm assuming I've passed these two without incident.
they stay ahead of you. They keep going, and they go well past where you go back to, because you're headed to the Mariners Guild, and the Mariners Guild is where most of you are staying at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Mariners Guild's a huge place. I'll move everybody there. Is the rest of the party done with the meeting over there with the council?
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
All right. So I will get everybody back to that guild. All right. Let me move everybody off of here. I think that's everyone. And there's Veritas. And there is the Pseudo Dragon. And I think I've got Yukiha in there. Do I? Nope. There's Yukiha. All right. And I will do this. And I'll copy it and paste it. That way I keep a copy of all the party on all the different maps. Makes it easier. All right. So let's move this over to the Mariners Guild. I do have a picture of the Mariners Guild now. Ah, yeah. All right, so what I will do is you will be coming in kind of this way. The rest of the party will be in here around the different tables. I just have to readjust a little bit.
I just wish that everyone knew about them.
I can do that if you want. I mean, I don't have a problem doing that.
Please do. It's just that it used to be a
Sure.
It's hard to know who was who.
All right, no problem. I'm going to shrink everybody down a little bit to where they fit the right things. There we go for the different tables.
Rick,
Yeah.
it's 23 GP for everyone, not including the NPCs.
Ah, okay. That works. Well, you know that the 500 each is, again, depending on what. Yeah, 23 for each breaking out. Well, you can put the NPCs in there as well. They'll help. It's not that they won't. All right, there's Yuki. I'll have to go Yuki and see if I can size Yuki down a little more. Don't want to go too small. I hate this because then this area is kind of fun coming in. There we go. Alright, and then the dragon goes way down and kind of right there. So, and then Lyric goes down there. So all you're kind of in at a table in the Mariners Guild. And there's a lot of different people here. You notice that there's a lot of people kind of just in different areas and stuff. So you can move everybody around the tables as you want. I think this is all about the right size. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to size this. I can size it down a little more, but there's Balam. Alright, so you're coming up to the Mariners Guild is a really nice looking stone 2-story complex of buildings. Very large area. Takes up, gosh, easily 2 and 3 sizes. I mean, it's bigger than some of the mansions and the businesses in town. As you know from the Mariners Guild, it is a guild. It's almost an adventuring guild is the best way to put it. And that's where originally the party met some of the different folks like Balaam and Nicodemus and Lyric. Mm-hmm.
Will you put folks' names above the head?
Yeah, hang on here. Let me do this. I can do under the. Let me go here. Let's go under there. Let's see. Names, player, video, advertising. Regular. Yeah, there we go. Regular. I can do that. Let's see. That has me. But I can then shrink that down. There we go. That has all this here, but let me do on the avatar. Let's see. On the... Where is it? Let's see. Audio, video, avatars, player, video, avatar. Where's the pieces, though? Game setting, marker position, top default. Let's go to the left. Alright, for the marker position, and let's move the avatar things. If I do it to the top, yeah, let's do that there. That has everybody across there. So that has all the names across there for the players. So depending on the players, they can put their name as a player in each one if you want. So, Veritas T on Shadow Moon, Silver, and Freya, if you want to put yours in parentheses, your player names. That way then it gives that to everybody to see. And where the heck do they do it over the... I thought we could do it... Can we not do it over the actual tokens? I thought we could.
It'd be okay if it shows up in the burner, though. I would just know who to help.
Yeah, no, and that makes sense. Just keep in mind that the 3 NPCs, Lyric, Balam, and Nicodemus, are all run by me. But I can put this in here. Here, let me do this. I can do it this way. I'll just say Nico for Nicodemus, Lyric, and oops, put that in there. So that way, that's okay. That way, then you got all the names. That doesn't hurt anybody to have. And then I'll save that. So then under mine, you know who the 3 NPCs' names are. And Nicodemus doesn't mind Nico, if you want to call him that. He's fine with it.
I don't like certain
Alright. So I can do that then. Well, my name would kill you because Rick is not my God-given name. Rick is my nickname. I've used it for all my life, but it's not my legal name by any means. That's why I laugh. I always know a bill collector because they know my real name.
So, just to picture, this is a door here, I'm assuming.
Yeah, these are doors right here. And the lighter gray are more windows, and then the orange are doors. Actual doors in.
Okay, I'm just gonna, so I'll just be going down there.
Okay.
Everyone.
There you go.
Open the door. I kick this door open. Hold your knickers, ladies. Captain Bonnie's back.
Oh, Lord. Alright, so Captain Bonnie comes back and lets all of you know.
Helmsman Bonnie, sorry.
Helmsman. Changing the first name to reflect the position. Now, the pseudo-dragon one, you could probably put the real name there if you wanted to. The pseudo-dragon.
Which one's our captain?
If I remember. Hang on here. Let's give you the pseudo-dragon. The silver has the moon over her head. That's your captain. So...
I'm back with supplies and I brought you up to...
BIMZ. B-I-M-Z. So
What'd you buy me?
I bought you these fragrances. Can't have a smelly captain there, can we?
Oh.
Plus you're good in the bath.
Yep.
We need to install a bath,
Thank you so much.
So then I'll put these here. It's Willow and BIMZ.
Also, Captain, there's a place in town that can design our flag for us. I think we could head there in the mornings and ask Jesus. Get a nice flag for the Roger burning over our heads.
All right.
White and black?
Flag.
No, a white and black flag.
Yes, but any particular shape or picture.
Don't know yet. We could take a vote.
There's no need to vote, Captain. Or this law. What is your position?
What, kitten? What?
I also bought that ship's cap, by the way.
Ah.
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
Alright, let me see if I can find our guy from the Mariners Guild.
We could do a skull and crossbones. How about a whale?
Ooh, an orca.
Yeah.
An orca wheel. That would do. Is that your final decision, Captain, or you'll just sleep on it?
No, that's my final decision. I like that. Off the cuff.
All right, so this is your barkeeper here, and actually head of the Mariners Guild. And that gentleman, so you all know, again on this one, is God, I had his name originally. I'll have to keep it up this time to make sure. Hate when I do that and lose a name. Alright, so. Alright, Mariners Guild. Alright, so the Mariner Guild head or innkeeper is Tomas, and he spells it Tomas. Tomas Frank. Tomas is working behind the bar up there. He's also the one that is the head of the local branch of the Mariners Guild. The sleeping areas are all these areas back here. And I'll ping them here. Like here, 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 here. Those are more the sleeping rooms in the guild. And then this is some other places here which are more of the meeting rooms. This is the eating in the bar area, with the kitchen being back in this area as well as other things. So.
Well, that's what I forgot, Cap.
What did you forget?
Hammocks and replacement cloth.
Oh, you have hammocks in the ship. Absolutely. You just have to get them laundered, because the people who had them last probably didn't do a good job of laundering them.
Yeah.
But the ships are pretty outfitted. I mean, the ship that you look through, even in the captain's quarters and the first mates, the furniture is decent. It's not bad shape. So yeah, a lot of that original stuff is there, including the stowaway holds and everything else. They had a lot of different things with it that you can use. Bump on Bonnie. Helmsman Bonnie, did you get the list written down of all the supplies you bought? Curious for future reference.
Right, I shall put that on the show.
Perfect. Captain Schmexy. You got a good photo of her there. Akeisha put a good one in there of the tiefling.
Rick, can I ask, would you be in the text center, would you put in a place for ship supplies? That way we can...
Yeah, I can do that. I can put that in. Let's see. Just finished fundraiser. I'm here, but not at a computer yet. Rick will have to roll for me. No problem, T. I can do that. Abso-freaking-lutely I can. Alright, so let's do it under the treasure here. I will put real quick. And this is 4 days.
Captain, I'm assuming that the food we have is probably rotten. We're tossing it and we're restarting with the food I bought.
Let's see, fish, meat, and veggies.
It was 4 days. It was 4 days of fish. It was days of dogfish, fruit, vegetables, buffalo, water. We also had ship's biscuits. We had oils. We had waterproofing. We had nails. We had sleeping chairs for the captain. We had 2 pairs of boots of different colours. We had the ship's knives and the cutlass.
Yep.
I think that was everything.
Hang on here. I'll get them all in here.
That way we can add and keep track of the food and that.
Alright, hang on here. I gotta make sure I get all this in right. There we go, to that. Hang on here. Wrong. Alright, just typing it all in, making sure we got that.
We also got pots, bags, and cutlery. And herbs and spices. And 2 chickens. The ship's cat.
Are we gonna name the ship's cat?
That's up to the captain. Captain, you keep asking us, but it's not we're not democracy, we're hierarchy. You are at the top.
Yeah.
Your word is law, man.
As you know it, she is much more, probably less of that. So,
If you wish to take a vote, we can do it, but again, it's your decision.
You could call it Cutlass. Cutlass the cat.
Cutlass the cat.
Going after
Right.
nice.
Let that on here, actually. That's
By the way,
really
Rick,
funny.
did you get my secret message?
Not yet. Hang on here. I gotta. Asking me to multitask in game is fun. It's easier if you whisper to me in the Roll20 if you can. By the way, yeah, we could do that. Absolutely.
I would just find that hilarious.
Absolutely, we could. That'd be funny. All right, so all that is up under the treasure in Discord, the list. As best as I can type it fast as a GM. I'm not the fastest typer in the world. But yeah, now there are job boards here, but there's also the job board that is, and let me go here real quick and show everyone.
Yeah, it's just that we can say like 4 days work, and then as a day pass we say 3 days work.
Alright, so I'm going to go over here and bring you... This is the town map for everybody that hasn't seen it. And then I'll move it back later. The watchtower is... Okay, so... text. I'm going to do this to make it easier on everybody.
What number is our building?
That's a good question. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go... Oh, God, I hate when it does that. Alright, so that actually went over the 12, but that's okay. Alright, so let me do this. Hang on here. I will go through and try to text do these things. Alright, so this is... Alright, Mariners. Hang on here. Yep. Alright, so that's the Mariners Guild right here. Not 21, but 20. 21 is actually, or no, I'm sorry, 21 is actually the Mariners Guild down there. Okay. This shop right here is the shop that you went to.
What number is that, sorry?
21 is the actual Mariners Guild.
We went to the Miners Guild, and I went to which shop?
You went to this shop over here. Hang on real quick as I go through and do all these. Next time what I'm going to end up doing is on the shops that you know, I'm going to work on this map and lay it out for everybody to make it easier. Because again, not always everybody remembers which one is which.
Is it possible to flip the map sideways?
Yeah, good luck. I will eventually do that, probably. But for now, it's kind of what it is. Yes, I don't want to know.
Stop. Go.
Alright, so it's Winston's here. So that is Winston's store is right here. 26. And this is the... Alright, so... Temple. of Valcour / hang on here. Let's get the other one. Trying to make sure.
I think it was Doctor number 9.
It's Tiscia. Yes, Tiscia. Hang on here. Alright, so that 28 is the Temple of Valcour Tiscia, the two gods, or the god and goddess. 9 is the Green Market. So, let's do this then. Put it here. Green Market. Alright. So 9 is the Green Market, and I will put an arrow down to it if I need to. Hang on here, we'll do the free hand. And that's there. The Green Market. Let's see. Alright. And so the other one is the bar you guys like to go to. So 11 is the leather shop. So I'm going to put the arrow down to that. Unfortunately, it does not shift it easily to the right one. So that's the leather shop right there. The watchtower is right here. I'm going to put the because again, there's some places you're going to want to go. This is the Druid Grove here. So this right here is the Druid Grove with the freehand pointer down to here. That's the Druid Grove. And yeah, those would be the main places right now I'm going to do. There are other places. There are bars and other things. But those are the main places so that you know where to go. There is a blacksmith in town, as well as a ship working thing, as well as a processing plant for the fish and everything else. 30 is the island, of course, over there where there is the ruins and everything else. It's the uninhabited island that we've talked about. So yeah, eventually I will turn this otherwise. There's a map of it turned the right way. It's just fun finding the map, unfortunately, for all the different ones. They've got 4 different maps depending on what campaign you run it in. So, alright, Yukiha, I am up for any sort of work. I prefer not to spend too long on land. The sea is my home. Okay, perfect. Houseman Bonnie, did you get the list? Yep, thanks for the clarification. No problem. Alright, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything in the typing. But that is where most of the things are that are key. Now this, I'm going to do this for... yeah, the problem is getting the right ones that... okay, for Freya. What did you have in mind for Freya? So we got that. Yeah, there's a job board, like I say, up in here in the local place where all of you are, and then there is also up there at number 12 at the watchtower. There's a where people post as well. So there's the council hall. Where to go? Barracks, city jail. Council hall 14. So 14 is the council hall. So I am just going to outline where the council hall is in purple. This place right here is the council hall, if you wondered. That's the circle one. So that's where the council hall is located. Alright. Akeisha's typing that in. again, it's up to the party. You guys can take as long or as little as you want. Can we mark the bookshop on the map as well as the clothing store? Okay, so the bookshops. Ebony's Oddities. So that's 33. Alright. I will do that. So the number 33 is Ebony's Oddities. Wherever I have marked that. 30.
Is the leather shop where I have to get a cap?
You can, or you can go back to Winston's if you want to try there. Where did I have 33? Where did it go? I had it on this map, I thought. 33. Why is it not showing on there? Fine, I'm going to have to put it in there. I hate that. Thought I had them all in there. 30, there's no one, 31, 32, 33, is there? That I'm seeing. Alright, so... Nah, 23 is the Carpenter's Guild. 33 I originally had here. Let me put this here. I will do it with text. Alright. So, this is 33. Alright. There you go. There's 33. Ebony's Oddities. Right there. Hopefully you can see it. Yep.
Are we going to put any of our side quest stuff on here? Or
It's up to you. It's up to the party. Again, you can run side quests in here. It just depends on how exciting it is for the party. A lot of times, the side.
Know, like,
Oh, where your
my
thing is.
shrine is.
Yeah, I can do that. That's easy to do.
That's all I wanted to do.
Yep, let me do it in. All right. Trying to save. There you go, in blue, up there in the trees to the north. That's the shrine to Saloon, or where you're wanting to put it, at least.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, my books and clothing both come. Ebony's Oddities has a little bit of everything. Yes, clothing, books, unique items, things like that. Yes. There's also clothing that you could get down in the markets. It just depends. Some ink supplies as noted above. Okay. So for that, depending on what kind of books that you're looking for, go through here. All funds. All right, where is it? I don't want spellcasting, I want other stuff. One of these days I will make it easier on these player handbooks, and I will end up putting in little things that mark pages. It always makes it easier. Let's see, there's no equipment there, there's no equipment there, there's no equipment there. Yeah. I love it. Alright, so the venturing, where's the gear? There it is, 143. Alright, so 143 gives me kind of a thing to work from. So it's up to all of you. If you want to do the running around now versus, what I can tell you it will end up doing in some ways is it will, you guys got about 40 minutes more of game time. It is up to you whether you want to take game time to do this, because whenever we do, not that I don't want to take away from the role play and the shopping, but those little side things can take 30, 40 minutes out of a session. It is up to you as a group if you want to do that in the future. I don't have a problem, but you're not going to get a ton of experience for it. You're just going to have more fun with it. So, yeah, quick in and out. And that's fine. I mean, I just don't want people saying, wow, we spent a lot of time doing this when we could have done this. So, just keep that in mind.
Or we could save the shopping for our next session.
Yeah, you can do that. Or you can even do them as side outs and say that we did this while. That's why that side out function comes in, and just letting all of you know as players. These side quests can be done, in other words, retroactive. So if you went out, got into an adventure, fighting monsters, whatever, it would be like we rewind time to when you're in town to getting these items. Just saying. I don't mind doing that.
DMing you or just telling
Yeah. Oh, I mean, T will tell you, I did a whole thing where he visited 3 different places. You guys had no clue where his character went. It was on the evening you kind of all dispersed your directions. He went a lot of places and found out a lot of things. But again, it's up to his character what he wants to reveal and everything else. He took Quaid in with him, but I don't mind running those kind of things. And you can pick the NPCs if you want Balaam, Lyric, whatever. So, like Willow took Lyric with her while you guys were at the Lizard Man village, and they went out and did some things on one of her side missions. And Freya did some things, and as you did too, Yumi with Silver. So keep in mind, if any of you want to do things like that, I can spend a good half an hour, 40 minutes on Discord. And I'll trust any rolls. If I tell you to roll something, you just roll it on your dice and tell me. I trust the rolls. If I can't do that, then what am I doing as a DM, right? So.
I'm fine with just DMing.
Yeah, I mean, it allows... Because again, I don't want to take away from if you want to get something more done tonight on that. I think let's hold off on Akeisha on that one, because I can take you on a side quest with that. That's really easy to do. And I'd say, on most of those things, if you want to go off and do the side things, that's cool.
Well, it was a late night, as you said it was. I'm gonna excuse sleep on the ship. I'll wait for the supplies to arrive.
All right, no problem.
Either tonight or in the morning. We should be. I'll prepare the ship to set sail when the captain arrives.
Now, do you want to go ahead and give the money, Yumi, to him, so that way he has it with?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. The supplies arrive in the evening. You're able to exchange the money. It looks good. You can see several of the longshoremen and women bring them on board and stow them onto the ship where you tell them. And
I
they're...
also sent you a picture of the ship's
Oh, okay. That's cool. Oh, that's funny. That's adorable. Yeah, the cat is not amused at you dressing it up that way. A few hisses and scratches along the way. But yeah, it keeps the stuff on. Not amused.
No.
Poor cat. Poor cat. Oh, the poor cat. All right, so the next day, everybody meets back at the Mariners Guild, and again, it's up to you, Helmsman Bonnie, if you want to come out with them as they go to look at things. There's...
No, I will pay you from everything to prepare the ship for leaving. I'm assuming the captain will leave.
Depending.
Provided where we're going.
Yeah, because again, you'll find, and I'll say this as a GM, about 1/4 of the adventures are going to be seaborne. The other 3/4 will be land. So it's
I have been told it takes up some hours with the ships ready for sailing.
sure. And you've got an able group. You've got a bosun on board that the bosun can do a lot of that. She is well versed. She is like you, a veteran sailing person. So the bosun a lot of times, as you know, is the one that gets most of that work done. Like you have a quartermaster to do any of the dispensing of the materials. The bosun then is kind of the, oh God, what's the best way to put it? Yeah, it's like the old non-coms that were on the ships that were basically sergeant rank in today's thing. They would be the master chief. That's the best way to put it. The bosun is the master chief. They get it all done, and they are running around making sure those sailors are doing everything to what you would expect.
So then, does the captain want me to go with her then?
Yeah, that would be a good idea. We have a reliable crew on board.
Very well, I shall accompany the captain.
All right. So on the job board that you look up on here, there is a job for 4 missing trappers that went out into the crypt garden forest, and they have been missing for quite a while. And the 4 missing trappers are part of the guild in town. There's a guild for trappers and fishermen both. And the posted reward to find out what has happened to them is 1,000 gold piece total. It is a very high number. And you find that odd in a village like this because that's a big dollar amount. But you're maybe guessing that the council or even some higher up in town that has money has put their money in on finding it. They have been missing now for about 2 weeks.
What do you think, Captain?
Is that the only job on the board?
There is another. There is ship salvage. Basically, the Caravel, the Knights Dance, which comes a lot to this area from Neverwinter, is missing. It was lost somewhere. It was heading back north to Neverwinter out of here about a week ago. And it is a complimented ship of about 30 with the captain. And it was never received in Neverwinter. Could have been from a storm, could have been attacked by pirates. Again, you know it's not uncommon in these waters. There are some pirates up near Rowrim, which is an island up towards Neverwinter. Almost straight off of the coast here, but up maybe a little bit more north. And it is a place where pirates do frequent. So it is missing. It's a merchant freighter out of there. And so that one is a merchant caravel that comes in, delivering supplies down from Neverwinter and taking stuff back up. And it is missing. The bounty on it, there is a merchant family, the Klystroms. The Klystroms are willing to pay 10% of the worth of the ship, which is about 10,000 gold pieces for recovery.
They want the whole ship?
Mm-hmm. A merchant's ship is not cheap. They want to see if they can salvage a ship. If not, they want the cargo. At least the cargo.
Okay.
There's some valuable cargo on board. You don't find that as unusual. A lot of ships up here are a lot of these ships being built, like your ship, probably 15, 20,000 gold pieces newly off the thing.
Do you like my opinion and recommendation?
Well, let's check the board and see if there's anything else. If not,
Okay.
we'll recommendation.
All right. The third one is for an abbey island. The abbey is part, I guess it's a remote abbey for studying, and it is part of the mariners' purveyance. And this abbey itself has had some issues with it. Hang on here, let's see. Where are we at? All right. The Mariners Guild sent and this is something that your Mariners Guild host here, who's running the bar, tells you about. He goes, the Mariners Guild have sent a force ashore to the Abbey Island. And they drove off what seemed to be some pirates who came onto shore and attacked the Abbey itself. It's apparently abandoned, but it is still a danger itself. There is believed to be some undead on the island that are causing issues. And so the guild itself is willing to pay 2,500 gold pieces, he says, for all of you to go do reconnaissance on the island itself and find out what happened to the abbey.
And did the trappers one have a bounty on it?
Yes, the trappers had, it was about 1,000 gold pieces for the four of them, so 250 a trapper, to find out what happened in the Crypt Garden Forest to them.
So the ship is the largest one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Difficult is if it's sitting on the ocean floor. Exactly, at your current level. Yeah, exactly. Because you don't know if the ship sank. You do remember all of you met with the priest of Valcour. That was before Yukiha and helmsman Bonnie. Both of you met also the clerics there. Or the cleric there. He was the fine, older, dark-skinned gentleman who was basically looked almost kind of like a sailor himself. And he had said that as you go along, there are salvage missions that can be paid for ships are brought back. But that's if they're still floating. If they're at the bottom of the ocean, that's a whole nother realm. You would need some water-breathing stuff or ways to get down and get back up. Because the sea goes pretty deep. A couple thousand feet, in fact, in some cases. Easily.
Well, if we wanted to do something quick, we could go to the Crypt Garden.
Mm-hmm.
Trappers.
I agree.
Okay.
We should also, if it's a forest, we should also try to get some small map of the area to use and maybe some horses and cars in case we need to. We should also get a caravan with medical supplies in case of injury.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely you can. And that may not be a bad idea either. Let's see.
Maybe not you can to rent or to take a local doctor with us.
Do they have a local doctor?
Clerics. I mean, the doctors themselves, yeah, they don't have, again, medicine in this day and age, think about maybe the 700s, 800s AD in our times. Yeah, the clerics are more doctors. The differences between 700 AD our time and the clerics of this time, they actually have spells. The priests of our age had nothing. They had herbalism, if they're at best. And again, some great herbalism. They poultices and a lot of technology came out of that time. But that said, it's as a formal doctor in town, no. No, they have ship surgeons, and usually the ship surgeons are a cleric of some, like Ishtisha or Valkur, that go on the ships, just like the ship's mages are either a sorcerer or a wizard that go on to help do gusts of wind and other types of things and mending. They bring them on for that reason, to do that kind of work. That if for us, I'm guessing Willow would want to go that way. Yeah, Willow actually mentioned wanted to go that way. She had some premonitions about it, and saying that, remember when everybody, and again, this is before Haven, you joined, and Wolf, you joined. I mean, those were both, they were at a bar and they talked with some trappers then, and they talked about how weird Crypt Garden was. How they had weird dreams, and it just was the bizarre things they saw in the forest. Things weren't right in their mind.
What kind of
It was a hag.
You believe so. You believe that it's probably some sort of a hag causing this in this.
if that's the case, Captain, that's clear that you had a one to carry the bodies, very confusing, and some exes.
Well, I'm a cleric,
Mm-hmm.
so unless we want an additional cleric.
Yeah, hiring people from the town is doable, especially the Mariners Guild here, but you guys probably have the 3 best NPCs out of town with you right now, which is Nicodemus, your bard, Balaam, who's the sailor, and then Lyric, who is the warlock.
Do we have a ranger for the bodies?
You have
Ew.
Quaidin, if you want to take Quaidin. He was one of the PCs, but I'm kind of running him as an NPC. You do have him. You also have Shadow, which is T's character, which is the drow elf, kind of a rogue that has similar type of abilities.
So, Captain, I recommend you take it yourself. Caravan horses, a ranger from the forest. I am a fighter of
Mm-hmm.
and another spell. I recommend a small group simply because big groups don't get a chance to follow them.
Freya
So as you're recommending this, Lyric is listening, and Lyric goes, "Well, I would not recommend the small party. The Crypt Garden is very, very dangerous. There are fae, and there are other things." She goes, "Most times small groups that go there, they die. They do not come back."
How do people know what's there?
She goes, "Well, that is interesting you ask." She goes, "I have been with a small group before." She goes, "I have seen things, strange things, fey things. They do not scare me." And again, when she says that, you get the smell of mint, julep, and lavender off of her. It's, yeah, but it has a very earthy, almost kind of a, I mean, and the whole party can smell it at the tables. It is like being out in the forest with these live things in front of you, blooming and growing.
So so would you come with us?
Of course I would.
Yeah. I think we should have let everybody come if they want.
Balam says, "Sure, it's not a boat, but I will go. I will not leave my friends behind. And Nicodemus is like, of course, I'm always willing to learn new things. I love going on new finding and discovery.
Then I, Captain, give permission to use the caravan.
Yes, I think that is an excellent.
All right, so that would take you to the quartermasters. Now, that's number 7, the quartermaster, because that's the only place with caravans going in and out.
Correct.
Yes.
Would the Trappers Guild maybe go in on this, or is it them that about them?
It's one that they're the ones offering the reward.
Okay, so you don't want to ask them.
All right, so the quartermaster I'm putting over number 7. T, it's up to you whether you want to share anything that Shadow might know. I know that DM is heavily hinting towards him. Are you there, T? He's there.
Typing.
Excuse me. Yep. Yes, what was the question? They were going to go to the quartermasters, at least Helmsman Bonnie was, to go procure some caravan stuff. You have been to the quartermasters, Shadow, but it's up to you if you and Quaya didn't want to share what you saw and discussed there, or even any inkling of it. That's the only hint I will drop, just for his sake, so he knows what I'm talking about. Boy, I love acid reflux. I don't get it often.
I have it.
Ugh. Lovely stuff when you feel that stuff kind of creeping up your throat. Gotta say, though, being much more keto and much more smart about my carbs, I get less of that crap. Much less. Ah, yes, the quartermaster may have a job for us. Do you wanna inform them who the quartermaster is? Party may remember, they may not remember. Yeah, we've spoken to her before. Just scroll up past the kitty cat. That's your quartermaster. That's your caravan master. Smexy, yes. Captain Schmexy, Captain Zendros is the quartermaster. That's good. Yeah. That's Captain Zendros and Keladek, the wizard. And the vibe the rest of the party got off of them was one of those opportunistic vibes.
I was going to say, I don't know if I want to work with her.
Aww. That's your caravaneer. She runs the trades that go in and out of the town to a certain level. She's not total, but yeah, I love that. Magic items can be discussed. You gotta love Shadow. Shadow has some great motivations. And yes, magic items can be discussed. That discussion was quite the interesting one. And the side out, is all I'll say. Yeah, Willow definitely, to let you know, Akeisha would definitely want to go. And it's up to Yukiha. If Yukiha, I would think Yukiha probably they would want an opportunity, maybe.
I definitely would like to go. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, it's up to you whether you want to take additionals or if you just want to go as more the group as you are. Again, by land, to get to this location, the Crypt Garden, would take the party... let's see, Crypt Garden from there is that probably... Because you're going to have to go through the area that goes through the mountains, the Sword Mountains, to get to the Crypt Garden. The Crypt Garden is on the other side of Leyland. Here, I'll show you a map, because you have a map of the area. Let me move to a different map for all of you, just for sake of the Sword Coast. Alright, so I'm going to go to this map here.
Since we have Shadow, do we really need Quaden?
No, you wouldn't necessarily need it. Everybody is, you can see where the Saltmarsh is on this map that I moved everybody to.
No, I haven't seen a blank screen.
Yeah, I see a blank screen.
Alright, let me go back here, because I'm betting that's in the settings. My guess is that, yeah, the Fog of War is enabled. Okay, let's get rid of that. There we go.
There we go.
Boom, lit up. So this is the map you have of the area, thanks to the map charts that you found on the boat. That Shadow did a little bit of... Yeah, again, it's up to Shadow what Shadow wants to... Yeah, share. I'm sorry, Shadow, I don't want to share for you. There is the Crypt Garden right there. And I will type in Crypt Garden so you know. Alright, so this right here, and I'm going to put it in maybe a better color. Let's go with, oh yeah, the bright purple. So that is Crypt, oops, Alright, KRYPTGARDEN. Really, it's going to be that small? Ay. That's just not good. But yeah, that's kind of the Crypt Garden over there. Yes, that's it. Now, this route here, and I'm going to do a little bit with the freehand on the red. So this part here, the red part from there to Leyland, is a road. That's a trade route road. There's also a trade route that goes from Saltmarsh up to this way that goes into the high road. Okay. This right here in the rest of the purple that goes over towards the Crypt Garden, that's not paved. All right, I'm going to do this. Let's go to 26. I'm going to do this again. And let's do Crypt Garden and see if that sounds better.
We have 2 recommendations for the ranger to come along.
Yep. So that's Crypt Garden right there. You can see it now a little better. That is not a bad idea. But that's going to be the distance there. That distance there is about probably to the Crypt Garden through the mountains is going to be 3 days maybe.
3 days.
Yeah, 2.5, 3 days, depending on whether you're mounted or not mounted. You can get horses in town, either at your friendly neighborhood halflings, or you could do it from the quartermaster. The other places that you could possibly get horses in town is at where else? Is there anywhere else that you guys could? At Ingo the Drover's house. Ingo can get you extra if you need mercenaries, things like that. Other types of things. Ingo is kind of that way. That's 22 on the map. So let's go back to the other map. So if we go here, Ingo the Drover, let's zoom in a little bit, is on 22. So I will type in Ingo, because Ingo is important to know. Alright, let me do the size down to about 20. And let's do this. And I want to put INGO the Drover. Yep, 22. Ingo the Drover. That's the other guy that can possibly get you horses, mercenaries, any kind of other caravan supplies outside of the quartermaster. You haven't met Ingo yet, but the Mariners Guild guy that you're talking with can definitely point you over that direction. He will do that, and that's Tomas. Tomas can point you over and give you reference if you need.
Okay. Who is got the better reputation?
That's a good question. You have pretty good standing in town. I don't think you're isolated in who knows about all of you from what you've
no,
done.
I meant who's more reliable to buy from.
Oh. Well, they're almost... all three of them are about even. I hate to say that.
Okay.
Winston is... you get the feeling off of him that he is opportunistic. He's helpful, but very opportunistic. He aligns along the lines of Zendros. Zendros, she is very opportunistic. She is not from Saltmarsh originally, and she is trying to make things happen here. So she is super opportunistic. Inigo, you haven't met yet, so you don't know. I mean, he's kind of an unknown quantity. So, there's T. I know that voice.
So,
It's up to you, T, if you want to share what you know.
who do you want to share?
Again.
I know he wants Quaden to come along.
Yeah, Quaden doesn't hurt. But
I
we...
don't mind him coming along. I didn't know if he wanted more eyes or not. So.
All right. Well, it's about 9:30, almost. We're about 8 minutes off. Do you want to hold off till the next time on going out to said location? See, eeny, meeny, miny,
on
moe.
the road or going to a store?
For all the above. I mean, we can get on the road definitely at probably next session. If you want to go to Inigo, you can go over to Inigo and get to meet him.
Yeah, I'd rather go. That sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
The quick question, while they're meeting the party, have I headed up to the quartermasters for orders?
You can. It's up to the captain and what she wants to do with that. I mean, or if she wants to keep everybody together. Because, again, it doesn't hurt to split up sometimes, but sometimes being together, you learn more from that.
Yeah, I think we should all stick together and see how Indigo pans out.
What? You don't want to split the party, Yumi? Am I actually hearing we don't want to split the party? Wow.
I heard him like scream and get back.
Don't split. Akeisha, you could give them stories about the other party who has split themselves several times and the horrors that have happened. And I will say this as a DM and a GM. I am not a believer in splitting the party, even as a player. More players die that way or get lost or get into situations they don't want to get into that they can't easily get out of. Oh, I don't know, like krakens or mechanical krakens or, God forbid, an island full of cannibals. Yeah. Or vampires, or other fun things that go bump in the night. They lost an NPC because the NPC went off by himself, and oh gee, the vampire is a Vitala, so she took over his mind and body.
Oh my God.
And they didn't even know until the vampire attacked them. Oops.
Did I hear right? That's the session ended.
Again, I'm not saying it never works. It does sometimes. but 9 times out of 10, that's always so good. So
Indigo is
yeah, Ingo, I-N-G-O. Ingo.
I-N-G-O.
Yes. So, all right, you meet a gentleman in this. This is a decent sized building itself. It's a stone building. It's beautiful looking. It has a 2-story, and it has a lot of decoration. It's almost like a Gothic style home or business itself. And on the front it says Drovers on the sign. There's a nice, what looks to be a hardwood, maybe a cherry wood door. Beautiful looking. It's stained in the original wood, and you've noticed that it has very little cracking or disrepair like you would expect on a sea coast like this. Yeah, T. No, don't split the party even a little bit. Oh God, yeah. T could tell you D&D 3.5 things where I split the party and how well that went. When the drow took, 5 out of the 7 party members and captured them. Gee, that went really well.
Didn't split the party when I went to get supplies.
You did, and fortunately you came back with no worse. But who did you run into walking back? Captain Zendros, yeah, and Kelladek. You got to meet them, but just didn't know you met them. After you describe them to the party knows exactly who they were.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. The gentleman in here has a ponytail. He has salt and pepper hair and a beard. Salt and pepper beard, kind of almost like mine, a goatee like mine. And he looks up from his desk where he is working and writing away, and he goes, Oh, I have guests. Come. What can Ingo do for you?
Well, go ahead.
We're looking to, my captain here is looking to purchase a caravan. Well, rent them.
So you need carts, horses? When you say a caravan, he goes, a whole caravan, I can put you with one that comes through, but the next one isn't going out for about 4 to 5 days.
We're basically we're going on rescue, and we need something to carry the people back if they're injured.
Well, he says, I could set you up with a wagon and several horses.
That's the word I'm looking for. My apologies.
Absolutely. He goes, I can do some draft horses.
I'm not used to you landlubber speech. I'm more of a seaman. So.
No, understood, he says, looking you up and down and sizing. He goes, I wouldn't expect you to, unless you're spent some time on the land, understand all the going-alls of what we do. He goes, I do have a covered cart that can easily hold supplies or people in the back. Do you need 2 or 4 draft horse team to pull it?
Let's see how many supplies are we taking. Why don't we just do a 2 team, and then we'll have some separate horses. Okay.
He goes, that will work. Riding horses for the rest?
Yes.
Okay. I will get a pony for your smaller friends here. He says, nodding towards Yukiha and towards Nicodemus. He goes, big draft horse, probably not a great idea for them to try to control. But he says, I have some riding ponies that, or, he says, if you prefer, I also have some mastiffs that you could ride. that would be used as mounts. Bull mastiffs. Those might work well.
You want me to ride a dog?
Well, yes. He goes, the gnomes ride them often. He looks towards Nicodemus. He goes, you've ridden one, haven't you? And he goes, well, yeah. I've ridden them before. They're not bad animals.
Then, yes, I humbly accept. I humbly accept. I think it would be a fun idea, a fun thing.
All right, he says. Well, he says the 2 mastiffs. He goes then, let's see, how many he goes. He counts Quaidin, Veritas, Shadow, Silver, Freya, and helmsman Bonnie. He goes, so 6 riding horses. Well, no, actually, you probably only need what? Probably 4, and then 2 can ride in the wagon. So he goes 4 riding. He goes 2 draft.
NPCs, right? So.
Oh, yes. He goes, my bad on that. He goes, so 6 riding horses, 2 draft, plus 2 draft for additional. The cart. He goes, I'll sell them to you at about 300 gold pieces. And they're yours.
The whole thing?
Yep.
Okay.
He goes, the cart, I'm not so worried about because I figure, it's useful. He goes, I can have carts made fairly inexpensive. He says, more of the horses and the tack that costs. He goes, and you're helping the town. He goes, I know who you are. He says with a kind of an interesting grin, which makes you think he knows who you are. Well, of course, yes, a permanent sale. He goes, I wouldn't think of it any other way. Yeah, to avoid the classic wet dog smell. Well, and again, these are bull mastiff riding dogs, so they're interesting. If you ever want to see what one looks like, look at gnome cavalry or gnome riding a mastiff, and you'll see a picture on Pinterest that'll show you what one of those looks like. They're big dogs. They're almost as big as your classic British bulldogs, but they stand.
I put pictures in the general chat.
Yeah, they're and they can run just as fast and as long as horses can. Because again, a gnome or a kobold on them, pretty light when it comes to riding those. Now, a human, of course, anything medium-sized would wear them out. Yeah, halflings use them, absolutely. They're safer mounts, less distance to fall, easier to control. They're more friendly. They're tamed to the person.
They don't spook easily, do they?
No, they don't. They are trained. In fact, if anything, they're more trained for if you got to go into battle, and they can fight. Unlike horses that have to rear back and use their forelocks, a bulldog is going to come in and chomp you with its mouth, and it's not going to be pretty when it's done.
I'll put some miniature horses.
Yeah, the miniature horse.
So, as you guys are talking that over, Nicodemus basically slides over a stack of 300. He basically counts them out and puts them up. He goes, I'll cover this.
Oh, one thing we should add as well is wagon lantern.
Oh, lanterns.
Yep. He goes, okay. So supplies, you're going to need lanterns, oil, things like that, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He says, go ahead.
Take a rope with us to pull the wagon out of mud or to trees out the way.
That's up to you. That's up to you guys if you want to do that. I mean, that's definitely something you can do. Let's see. Let's put that there. Mark off gold. Under there.
Yeah, we got rope. 100-foot rope.
Yep. Alrighty. Let's see, lyric wrote hers. real quick. So,
We should also take signal rope.
up to you if you want to do that. Rope is going to be basically the normal rope is 1 gold piece for 50 feet. The lanterns are about 7 gold pieces. If you want to use a hooded, if you do a bullseye, it's going to be a little bit more. So depending on what you want to use for those type of things. Oh, I love that. That's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly. That dog you're showing right there, that is exactly the type of dog. Yeah, the pony is cute. It's not huge. Some of them go a little bit bigger, but again, you're talking figures that are... how tall is Yukiha, Haven?
They are like less than 2 feet tall. They're about
Okay.
1 foot tall.
Yeah, so you could ride a riding pony or the dog like no tomorrow. It'd be like, yeah, just a little kid riding it. The Nicodemus stands at 3 foot and about 26 pounds. He's not huge, so yeah, one of those dogs easily with a saddle could carry him. No problem. Because those dogs, you look at them, you think, oh, that stands 2 or 3 feet. No, that thing stands way taller than 2 or 3 feet. That's a big dog. They're used a lot of times as war dogs in the old style of doing things. They were war dogs. And so, yeah. Let's see. The Gnome Druids, Black Panther. Oh, yeah, the Black Panther. That would be kind of... But could you imagine putting Nicodemus on a panther? That would not go well. That would be ugly. Poor Nicodemus would be banging along as the panther takes off. Now, if he was a druid, it'd be different, you know. But, yeah, no. Yep. So, he says for the lanterns, the oil, the rope, he will be pretty reasonable and give it to you for about 35 gold pieces for the lot. That'll give you 3 lanterns, enough oil to light them and keep them going for several days, and then the rope you need.
So 335 gold pieces?
Mm-hmm. Total. Now, 300 has already been covered by Nicodemus. He's already counted that out and put it up on the table for his
Oh,
portion.
yes.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. So is there anything else? Can you think, T, of anything you would want on there, or Haven that you would want to have along there, or Veritas, anyone else?
I know
Akeisha?
he said he wanted rope, so we already...
Okay. All right.
Not particularly.
Okay. Just want to make sure we get everybody's, because again, you got a great group here with a lot of different thoughts on how to do that. So, how much does Isis need? Nothing. He doesn't even entertain it when you go to ask him. He's like, no. He goes, you covered on the mansion. This is my way of covering any traveling or supplies that we'll need for the mission. Oh, he's like, oh, no, don't even mention. He goes, I've had such fun with all of you, and I enjoy it thoroughly. So it is my pleasure.
You still have to come up with 35, though, right?
Yeah, the 35, which Lyric quietly paws that over and goes, here, takes. I don't need all of mine.
That's very kind of you, right?
Of course. Again, you are our companions for travel. It is my pleasure. She says with a soft purring.
Captain, another recommendation if I may. Maybe an idea to get a book on plants.
Yes,
Oh, go
Cassie.
to the bookstore.
There you go. That'd be a good
What are you doing here? Blackfish.
Kitty meow. Yes, that's a Cassie meow saying, Dad, it's 9:39. There's Kim. So
I was gonna say, where's
yes, we will wrap it down.
9:30.
Yes, she sent the cat first, so the
No,
cat
I
has.
said nothing. I'm wondering what the hell is going on because it's her bedtime.
All right. with that, if you guys think of anything else, let me know. For the XP, let me put it up in here because we had some role play and stuff like that. So I will say that it is 135 XP, and then of course the 500 GP for anybody who didn't for last mission. Anyone who didn't contribute into the mansion. Yes, I'm almost done. And 5,000 GP left on mansion. That way you have all that. You get 500. So it's up to you whether you want to put it towards the mansion. I did not count yours or Yukiha's Haven's towards the mansion. It's up to you both if you want to do that or if you just want to keep it for other things. The party's kind of been paying towards the mansion to get it paid off as a home base of operation and a home.
Well, I would want to contribute because
Okay.
this idea is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the mansion will be gorgeous once everything is restored. I mean, the work's already begun. The masons are already up there working and going over it and seeing what needs repaired, and as well as the woodworkers. So you already have that from the town looking into that as you guys pay the costs on it.
I probably will be using my
Okay, no problem.
So, it was just you with the cat, and I'll keep everything.
No problem. I mean, it's...
It's your share.
Yep.
Unless the captain orders otherwise.
No, it's your share. You can pledge any way you want.
Yep. There you go. An influx to local economy. I like that. That's a nice thing. Because you have both the ship and that. So it's two good places of operation. All right. So let's wrap her down for tonight. 2 weeks. We'll be back at it. If you want to do any side things, since you are in town, let me know. Just send me a little message in Discord, and I will work around it. And I'm getting the glare of, honey, I need your help. Otherwise,
what
the
time
child
is
is
it?
going to drive me
What
insane.
time is it?
It is 9:42. I know I'm bad. Bad, Rick. Bad DM. Bad. All right. Thank you, everybody. It was a great night. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
If I don't kill him first.
All right.
Oh,
She won't.
Oh.
She says that.
Try me after this week.
She says that, but there's the cat
Get
again.
him, Cassie. Get him.
All right. Night, everybody.